Space. The final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Sahu. My continuing mission: to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before. Ankh Seneb. Captain's Log, Stardate 9639.248. Supplemental. Riding on a boat, sailing through the stars. The ancient Egyptians were the first to conceive of traveling through the stars on ships. The evidence is available on the astronomical ceiling of the hypostyle hall of the Temple of Hathor at Ayunet. Depicted along with myself Sahu, is my wife Sopdet, the Sirius star, depicted as a celestial cow, and our son Sopdu, depicted as a falcon. The connection between sailing on the waters of the Nile on ships, and sailing through the stars on ships, was an outgrowth of the fact that the ancient Egyptians viewed the astronomical Milky Way as the celestial Nile. Additionally, nautical sailors used the stars to navigate their ships, and on long voyages at sea at night, they would imagine that sailing on their boat was like sailing through the stars. So spaceships, or ancient astronauts, are in fact explicitly attested to on the walls in ancient Egypt. The word extraterrestrial is an adjective used to describe anything outside of the planet Earth. There is nothing in the definition of the word extraterrestrial by itself that has anything to do with sentience, intelligence, consciousness, or life. To suggest that the word extraterrestrial by itself has something to do with intelligence or life is simply just a colloquialism which stems from a basic misunderstanding of the meaning of the word extraterrestrial. The phrase extraterrestrial life refers to life outside of the planet Earth. The phrase extraterrestrial intelligence refers to intelligence or sentience outside of the planet Earth, and the phrase intelligent extraterrestrial life refers to an intelligent life form outside of the planet Earth. The sun, moon, and stars are all extraterrestrials by definition. The sun, moon, and stars are all explicitly discussed in the corpus of ancient Egyptian literature. And, since the ancient Egyptians chose to anthropomorphize the sun, moon, and stars, then the ancient Egyptians were literally proponents of the concept of intelligent extraterrestrial life in the form of their many anthropomorphisms of the celestial, or extraterrestrial, sun, moon, and stars. Other stellar ancient Egyptian astronomical texts which discuss extraterrestrials, spaceships, and ancient astronauts are the Book of Nut and the Book of the Heavenly Cow. Extraterrestrials are mentioned quite frequently throughout various African cultures. The Ashanti tribe of Ghana claim that the golden stool, which is the throne of the Ashanti chief, was sent down from heaven by extraterrestrials. The Dogon people of Mali say that the progenitors of humanity were extraterrestrials called the Namo from the Sirius star. The Yoruba people of Nigeria say that Obatala and Oduduwa were extraterrestrials who climbed from heaven down to earth on a chain. The Maasai people of Tanzania and Kenya say that their ancestors were extraterrestrials who came down from heaven to earth. So extraterrestrial themes are in fact a common part of African culture. It was the European Catholic Church who had a problem with extraterrestrial concepts because the Pope feared that extraterrestrials were something he could not control. If you say the Greys or the reptilians are not real and are just made up, that is fine, but you have to be honest and also say that the ancient Egyptian stories about Sahu, Sopdet, and Sopdu are not real and are just made up also. If you say that Sahu, Sopdet, Sopdu, and the many other stellar ancient Egyptian stories and anthropomorphisms are merely metaphors and symbolisms for the sun, moon, and stars, then you have to be fair and say that the Greys and reptilians and their associated stories are just metaphors and symbolisms for the Zeta Reticuli and Draco star constellations respectively. Don't be a hypocrite. The ancient Egyptians believed your soul had an extraterrestrial origin, that is to say it came from the heavens, and the ancient Egyptians believed your soul could return to the stars after you died. The ancient Egyptians believed in astrology, as is evident from the zodiac ceiling at the Hathor temple at Dendera. Astrology says that a person's personality is determined by the extraterrestrial star constellation in the sky at the time of the person's birth. So if people with extraterrestrial souls and personalities from the stars built the pyramids, then the ancient Egyptians actually believed that extraterrestrials built the pyramids. If the ancient Egyptians used the stars to help align the pyramids, then the ancient Egyptians believed that extraterrestrials in the form of stars helped them build the pyramids. It is a fact beyond a shadow of a doubt that the ancient Egyptians believed in spaceships, ancient astronauts, and extraterrestrials. Oh, and one more thing, you know why I wear this odd-shaped hat? Because I got a cone-shaped head. Another oddity that can be found in ancient Egyptian culture. And if you say the head's got this way through the practice of warping the skull through skull binding, then why don't the people who claim to follow the Egyptian or Kemetic way of life start binding their skulls? The ancestors have shown you the way. Warp speed, engage. OTEP.
Video appears to show the moment when a police officer fatally shot a South Carolina driver whom he had pulled over this weekend. The victim's family attorney, who gave that video to ABC News, believes it could prove the officer used excessive force. North Charleston officer Michael Slager shot Walter Scott, a 50-year-old man who died shortly after the incident. The police incident report states that Slager called in a traffic stop in the area and then advised officers that he was in foot pursuit of the driver of the vehicle. During his next call on the police radio, according to the police report, Slager said, "Shots fired and the subject is down. He took my taser."
The bad decision made by our officer, he will be charged with murder. And that's not something that we like to hear or like to say, but it goes to say how we work as a community. When you're wrong, you're wrong. I can tell you that as the result of that video and the bad decision made by our officer, he will be charged with murder.
A North Charleston police officer will be charged with murder tonight. Good evening, everybody. I'm Dean Stevens.
And I'm Victoria Hanson. The announcement came from the mayor of North Charleston less than an hour ago after they say video of the incident taken by a witness was brought forward. Now, authorities say that former officer Michael Slager is in custody tonight. Investigators say the 5-year veteran of the North Charleston Police Department shot 50-year-old Walter Scott, this man, to death Saturday. And they say the incident started over a broken taillight. ABC News 4's Ava Willite was there when the city announced that Slager will be charged with murder. She joins us live tonight from City Hall with much more. Ava?
Well, Victoria, there was a lot of emotion coming from North Charleston Police Chief Eddie Driggers as he had to explain not only what he saw in the video, but the feelings that he had afterwards. We're also learning a little bit about what happened as described in that video. We learned that there were multiple shots allegedly fired by Officer Slager to the victim, Walter Scott. We also know that North Charleston has reached out to the Scott family and tried to get in touch with them, but they haven't had any luck. And of course, they're giving them their space as they need to grieve at this point in time. We do know that SLED is, of course, the official agency on this case. SLED will be responsible for the rest of Officer Slager. He is in SLED custody right now, but we don't know anything yet about his bond court or when he will actually be booked into the Charleston County Detention Center, if that is, in fact, where SLED chooses to book him at. Dean?
All right, Eva, thanks so much. A lot of emotion in that press conference today. Scott's family spoke to ABC News 4 over the weekend. They said he was a good man who was about to be married.
That's right. They knew that there was video of the incident, said that they would wait for justice.
That's all we want is the truth. And we'll go to any length to get that. so that my brother can rest in peace.
And our own Bill Burr is hoping to speak with Scott's family. We will continue to cover the story as it develops on air and online at abcnews4.com.
Bonsoir à tous, c'est Mary de Zion FM. Nous vous disons encore bonsoir. Nous sommes contents d'être avec vous. Et en tout cas, nous vous invitons à venir voir la Côte d'Ivoire et à vivre avec nous le Rastafari. Merci.
On your stereo, yeah. Mutabaruka leads the way, so just you let the station play, yeah. Say your teachings got to hold on me, yeah. Well, this is Kimani, and you're listening to, you know, Mutabaruka. Ivory FM, Continent. Whoa.
Children that they need nothing exterior to themselves to be happy. No person, place, or thing. And that true happiness is found within. Teach them that they are sufficient unto themselves. Teach them this and you will have taught them grandly. Teach your children that failure is a fiction, that every trying is a success, and that every effort is what achieves the victory. First, no less honorable than the last. Teach them this, and you will have taught them grandly. Teach your children that they are deeply connected to all of life, that they are one with all people, that they are never separate from God. Teach them this, and you will have taught them grandly. Teach your children that they live in a world of magnificent abundance, that there is enough for everyone, and that it is in sharing the most, not in gathering the most is received. Teach them this, and you will have taught them grandly. Teach your children that there is nothing that they are required to be or to do to be eligible for a life of dignity and fulfillment, that they need not compete with anyone for anything, and that God's blessings are meant for everyone. Teach them this, and they will have taught them grandly.
Teach your children that they will never be judged, that they need not worry about always getting it right, and that they do not have to change anything or get better to be seen as perfect and beautiful in the eyes of God. Teach them this, and you will have taught them grandly. Teach your children that consequences and punishment are not the same thing, that death does not exist, and that God would never condemn anyone. Teach them this, and you will have taught them grandly. Teach your children that there are no conditions to love, that they need not worry about ever losing your love or God's, and that their own love, unconditionally shared, is the greatest gift they can give to the world. Teach them this, and you will have taught them grandly. Teach your children that being special does not mean being better, that claiming superiority over someone is not seeing them for who they really are, and that there is great healing in acknowledging mine is not a better way, mine is merely another way. Teach them this, and you will have taught them grandly. Teach your children that there is nothing they cannot do, that the illusion of ignorance can be eradicated from the earth, and that all anyone really needs is to be given back to themselves by being reminded of who they really are. Teach them this, and you will have taught them grandly. Teach these things not with your words, but with your actions, not with discussion, but with demonstration. For it is not what you do that your children will emulate, but
Celebs, Dear Rubber Dub, Dating Night 24/7.
Africa unite. Africa united. Unite for the benefit of your people. Unite for rich haters and hating. Unite for the benefit of your children. Unite for rich haters and hating.
You are listening to Mutabaruka.
Africa unite, 'cause we're moving right out of Babylon, and we're going to our Father's land. Yeah. How good and how pleasant it would be before God and man, yeah, to see the unification of all Africans. Yeah. Has it been said already? Let it be done. Yeah. We are children of Rastaman. We are the children of Niah. Africa unite, 'cause the children wanna go home. Africa unite, 'cause we're moving right out of Babylon, and we're grooving to our
RFM, number one radio station in the whole wide world, and I do it.
the Cotton Head and Ivory FM, Cyan FM. You know, they take us from Africa and carry us to Jamaica. They didn't know that we would return. But we feel it in at the bottom of the ship with the urine, the blood, the sweat and the tears. And we came to the Caribbean, but now we come back home. We suffered on the ships. The bones of our ancestors lie in the Atlantic Ocean. But we survived. We survived because we are our ancestors, and our ancestors are we. We come home to Africa, where we were taken from. And now our voice is heard between the shores of West Africa, beyond the Atlantic Ocean and the ships that carried us to the Caribbean. We survived. We survived because our ancestors live. I am my ancestor. My ancestor is I. We survive because we are who we've been waiting for. We survive. Once a greetings to the people of Cote d'Ivoire. Greetings to the people of Jamaica. Greetings to all the world who's listening to this voice here, not coming from Jamaica, but coming from the west coast of Africa. For the first time, we are now fulfilling a dream that we had many, many years ago, wondering how could it be possible that we could make our voice be heard, not from Jamaica, but from Africa, live. Not a telephone call, but the program itself, the whole program, directed and operating from Africa. And now that dream has been fulfilled, we are in the Ivory Coast, transmitting the cutting edge to IRFM. And IRFM is transmitting the cutting edge to the world. The Zion Radio, Zion FM is transmitting the cutting edge all over Africa. The time is a difference. There's a 5-hour difference in time. So the time here is 13 minutes past 3 o'clock. And we know that the time in Jamaica is 13 minutes past 10 o'clock. We want to thank Zion FM for allowing us this space, this new radio station that was created to broadcast cutting edge. We have to say that now because it is not very long in the making here. It's a couple months old. And when they decided to make this radio station, I was contacted to be a part of this. We want to thank Delroy Thompson, the magician, the engineer magician, who nearly gave me a heart attack a while ago because I looked see if I can't find him. I didn't know that he was on his way here, but through me a time man now, me can't take the pressure. So I want to still thank Delroy Thompson, the owner of Juice TV. We want to thank Jahlani Niah, who is our co-host tonight in the studio where we're yarning out the place because it's 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm not used to these hours. But don't worry, brethren. When we're done at 7, you will go to sleep. We want to thank Jackie Cohen Hope for the support that is being given to me right now. And she's supposed to take this log here and tell us when the advertisement them coming on and she's sitting around there with Jahlani. We want to thank our security service here. We have a security here. We heard that is the presidential security that was given to us to really secure us until we leave here, and we have a driver there. We want to give thanks. So we have a program here that we hope it will work out. The reason why we say hope it will work out, as we say, it's after 3 in Jamaica, after 3 here in Cote d'Ivoire, and really and truly we have asked some people to come here for interviews, but when I tell them what time they're supposed to come, when I tell them what time they're supposed to come, they say, well, I'm telling the truth, you know. We really want to come, but we hope that we will get the opportunity to interview some of these ones here. If not, we will do it on the next program, because, you know, we are coming with the stepping razor, the art of war, right here in Cote d'Ivoire, or the Ivory Coast. But before we go into the matter, the vegetable of the matter, we just play a bridge in a while ago that we usually play upon the cutting edge. Him name Mewe. Mewe, him name Bridging? The artist, Mewe. Mewe, yes. And we know that him come from Ivory Coast, but it's the first time now we're going to play him as we put on this tune, all of the Ivorians, them shout out him name. So we're going to play it again for the people them in Ivory Coast and in Jamaica. This is the Cutting Edge on RFM. Yes, people of Cote d'Ivoire, as we speak here, the President of America, Barack Obama, is presently in Jamaica. This is a historic event because the next other president that came to Jamaica was Ronald Reagan. Now we say Barack Obama is present in Jamaica to have a conference with head of states from the Caribbean about different topics. But one of the topics that has concerned us as Pan-Africanists and Rastafari is the issue of Marcus Garvey still being recognized as a criminal both in Jamaica and in America. The expungement of this record is necessary to close what we call a terrible history of the tainting of one of our greatest Pan-Africanists, if not the greatest Pan-Africanists ever, coming outside of Jamaica. We feel that it is necessary and important that that criminal record be rubbed out because Marcus Garvey is not is not a criminal. And we all know the contribution of Marcus Garvey all over this world, especially when it comes to the liberation of the consciousness and the development of black people. So we are told that he's in Jamaica. We see that him land in Jamaica. It looks like it's like a secret thing going on, because we say the 9th him come, which is today, but actually him come yesterday. And we are told, if you never know, we know. Don't tell me, oh, be there, clear Africa, no, say, Obama, they are Jamaica, you're right. Oh, people say, Muta, today are the 9th. Yeah, today is the 9th. But him never come on the 9th, him come on the 8th. You didn't know that, Jahlani? Eh?
I said that Obama is presently overnighting, and originally it wasn't an overnight trip, it was a short.
Yeah, but you didn't know him there already.
Some years since we're there. Apparently intelligence is here.
Oh gosh,
yeah,
man.
man.
With the butter pipe.
Yeah.
But tomorrow morning, guys, till the same just arrived. But we know the friend.
But you never say yes to the landing, Muta.
Hey, we see the landing from here.
Alright, see.
We have Jahlani in the studio. Jahlani is here to also take part in this Abbey Reggae Festival and Conference. And it's very important that you understand what is taking place here. So we're going to carry you through what is really happening in the next 4 days here in Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast. We're going to carry you through day by day. We have the lineup. And you know that there's a lot of ones here from Jamaica, artists and otherwise, and you have a lot of artists that is going to perform from all over Africa. It's going to be a wonderful thing. I mean, we really I've never seen this done in Africa before on this large and massive scale. And I am glad to be a part of this inaugural meeting of artists and intellectuals right here. I'm really proud to know that I'm amongst this intellectual here from the Professor Dr. Jahlani Niah. Jahlani Niah. Okay.
Muta.
Yes.
I didn't use the opportunity to give thanks for being here on the continent, operating out of Zion. This is Ivory in Zion.
Zion FM. You can't believe that. Ivory in Zion.
Ivory in Zion. We maybe need to do an addition to Ivory and make it a regular thing, you know?
But you know, I tell Jackie this, it's years. This is one of my dreams, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is one of my dreams that I'm trying to figure out why is it that we couldn't broadcast a program, not just telephone calls and connect link. You know, you have links. Not just link, but full. Yeah, how can we broadcast a program where I, just like I sit down in an IRFM studio with my computer and my CD them, play the music, play the jingles and everything. When will that be fulfilled? And me I tell you this. Me tell Cabo, say Cabo, it have to work, you know.
But Muta, what you didn't tell the people that is your festival, you know, and it would have to work. This,
yeah, man. You are man gabbing at the airport, right?
No, but the truth is that from what I understand, you have been on board a couple of years now. And
2 years ago, they came and Babs Grains introduced me in Pegasus. We start, man, someone start a radio station and need to come deal with it. Where we never come deal with it, but now we come with everything. All the ammunition, them and all these things to deal with it.
The teacher up here.
Eh?
The teacher up
and the student ready.
There you go.
Ready.
There you go.
All right. So, Obama is in Jamaica, and we hear the Prime Minister said that in New York, she said that she's going to talk to Obama about the expunging of Marcus Garvey. But we remember a couple years ago, Obama said, I'm not interested in that. Also, it is too expensive. And we heard that since she mentioned it at New York, we hear a report come out that they repeat what they said 2 years ago. How do I say that?
Well, I know that our context, our first national heroes, honor, and the opportunity that a state visit brings for that kind of personal diplomacy is foremost in our minds. Even before we knew of this pending Obama trip, ones have been agitating for us to ensure that this administration deals with that matter.
Well, you know, say Miguel and other Rastafari did
put something
to Portia from them time there. And you know, so I guess she's repeating what the Rastafari bridging them.
Well, let's hear how he decides to handle that one, because it cannot remain a silent issue while he's there.
You know, he rejected it before from America. He rejected it.
Yeah, but Muta, between you and me, what do you think him here for at the real level?
What him is there for? What him is there for?
Yeah.
You tell me.
Well, let's put it this way. The administration couldn't have a second term ending, and I don't think the Jamaica
that's what you mean. That's what you mean.
Yeah.
Him come to usher in a next term. That's what I say.
No, it's not. That you're twisting what I'm saying. I'm saying
I don't want to twist what I say.
His administration couldn't have him end a second term. He went to Trinidad first.
Okay.
And I think in terms of global affect, and this festival here in Cote d'Ivoire gives us that understanding. Jamaica is still one of the most important non-big state power voices in the universe. And the politics that he played requires a representation in Jamaica, I think. At the university level, he's intending to meet students.
Hold on, we're going to take a break to IRFM. We take a break, but meanwhile we take the break. We still have a place up here that we don't want to no dead here in Africa when we take break in a job.
Only live here from Zion.
While driving through Jamaica, there's only one radio station I listen to. Ivory FM.
You know, see busy guys. I try my shop with students, you know how we do no music. You can look for use them listen. Any artist we try, them end up prison. You see that them get that early grave and them end up a prison. See where them a do too much, you see where them a do too busy. That now go stop me none at all. No, them have to kill me all. We don't reggae the world lost.
Ivory FM, thought-provoking, always smoking. Lyrics like a bazooka. You are listening to Mutabaruka.
Yes, we are here in Cote d'Ivoire attending this Abbey Reggae Festival. We are broadcasting from Zion FM in Abidjan, straight to IRFM in St. Anne, Jamaica. We are here with my co-host as well. I never knew I could have said this. We have our co-host, Jahlani, Professor Dr. Professor Jahlani, Niah, PhD, MA, TRAT. Now, we have some people for thank in a Jamaica now for the linkage as well. We don't know where we're going to start. You know. We know say crap must have something to do with it. We know say Samantha must have something to do with it. We know say as far as something at the rate in the studio. We know say money that they were said with the advertisement them for the whole 2 days them at IRFM said that they said be the 2 at them with buy 2 program them. And we know say Cabo as the program director is responsible. I want to big up Debbie, you know. I don't want, you know, say Debbie are the CEO, and me I call her Debbie. And so it's so connected with his Jahlani.
Your people, them man.
Yeah, man, we are call her Debbie. We don't even know our last name. Believe you me, we don't even know our last name. So we want to give thanks to the connection. Okay, so we really talk about this Marcus Garvey thing, and I want to tell the people them say we have some guests supposed to come here. We mentioned it to someone, but through the times. Oh, we forget Shane Clark too, you know. Yeah, Shane. Don't fret yourself, man. Shane Clark. All right, sir. I'm a bridge. Okay, all right, what you know? we talked to Alpha Blonde to come here, and Alpha Blonde was supposed to have the sound check with Delroy. I don't know if them still did the sound check. Okay, so we never no sound check, never go on. We use Alpha Blonde that is some sound check. I'm a perform tonight, which is tomorrow in a Jamaica time, Thursday. We ask, because of this Marcus Garvey thing, and we hear that President Obama will go into race course. We call it race course, them call it hero circle. And we used to mash up some people things. But I tell you, them no easy, Rasta. A woman we have sell for 40 years. 40 years she had sell. Round the park there, Them tell her to move, And she never move fast enough for them to go and devastate her things, them, And say, Obama, if he didn't see that, he would have go buy pizza, fish from her and all them something there.
Well, the state visit has caused a whole heap of paving in Kingston. I'm wondering, sometimes you don't even see when it happened, but the whole of the corporate area reaped.
Yes, it's like, because it's Jamaica and that's surveillance, right?
So you understand the priority.
Yeah.
The woman on the side is the Sorai as far as the government is concerned.
And she has said something where you know Obama would have loved to eat it too. Yeah, that's that.
Street food.
Yeah, so the expungement of this thing is really one that we invite Julius Garvey to come here to talk about him father, not only legacy, but how him see this thing should have take place, because we know him think already still, but because he's here with us, we don't really want him come. I don't know if him can wake them over that too.
But Muta, what I notice with these countries on issues of admission of wrong or issues that have to do with what we would call restorative justice, they are very slow in moving from their original positions, and that is, in my mind, based on their understanding that if them open that Pandora's box, I don't think America has ever really come to grips that this little boy from St. Anne, Marcus Garvey, come to America and turn it upside down. There is a...
Man, you give them fuel, they know that turn it upside down,
intellectually and philosophically, you know what I mean? Raise up a consciousness that, him awake the sleeping giant, him do that. And his principles that talk about self-help, notions of, us looking at Africa and supporting that, really is the destruction of their economies as they know it.
Yeah.
If we start to really value Marcus
Garvey. But you know that there's a irony in the irony that Marcus Garvey is also a criminal in Jamaica. And the government, none of the two governments has ever seen it fit to expunge Marcus Garvey record. I don't understand that. So them a call up on America to expunge Marcus Garvey, and them not really, they still have Marcus Garvey as criminal.
Well, you are highlighting more than irony is a contradiction, because he's our first national hero.
All right, this is where Portia say in New York.
And I just want to let you all know we are proud of you. And as your Prime Minister, I am very, very proud of you. Proud because anywhere we go in the world as Jamaicans, we stand tall. Yesterday, as I walked the halls of the UN, and I came on a picture and a little history of this great lady, I stopped, pay my respect to her, Nanny of the moment. Yes. What can I say? As Jamaicans, we come from strong bloodline. Yes. Whether it was Bob, Sharp, Garvey, I think I'm going to have to raise with the president when he gets to Jamaica. Yes! Yes! Marcus Garvey's name was that great Jamaican man should never be seen as a criminal. Yes! That philosopher, that great man, I believe his name should be expunged from any criminal life. That's right.
People of Kosovo, that was the the Prime Minister of Jamaica talking about the expungement of Marcus Garvey by the American government, and she's saying that she's going to relate it to President Obama, who's presently visiting Jamaica. Ironically, Marcus Garvey is a criminal in Jamaica. So we need to really rectify that also. Meanwhile, you're looking abroad for expungement. You need to do it likewise in Jamaica. You know, because we can't keep asking people to do things where we is guilty of too.
It might be like the ganja doing it. Them have to do it for us to understand so we can do it.
So them do it and then we come do it. You have a point there already. Yeah, you have a point.
We have to give it the green light.
All right. As we say, we're supposed to have Julius Garvey here. If we don't get him here tonight, we hope we give him for the stepping razor little more, which is tomorrow in Jamaica. Now, I don't know. All right. We could talk about which part we're there. Let's talk about which part we're there, because really and truly, it's really fascinating coming to this country. You know, when we land in the airport in Abidjan, and I look at it, I think I still in there Paris. No.
Yeah.
We say, when we come out and I walk for the immigration, you know. I say, but it come like the plane never left Paris.
Well, Muta, my experience was a little more dramatic because I didn't come that route that you came. I came from Brussels to Burkina Faso. We stopped at the capital. Now, Burkina Faso is, the capital city is dry. And from the air, things look really completely dry down and
Burkina Faso, what them call the Upper Volta one time. And that's Sankor.
Now, by the time we got into the Abidjan area, it looked as though we had reached an oasis.
Yes.
It's pure green, you see. I mean, and that's distinctly different from where it coming from. Because Sahara and then Burkina Faso. So the green was disruptive, you know, and that struck me because it spoke to me about what has always been a strong agrarian tradition here, you know, behind the cocoa and the coffee plant.
Yes.
But I was also seeing a lot of coconut trees from the air, you know, and an immaculately manicured fields of agriculture, you know, big amount of agricultural production. And, you know, that was a pleasant surprise. But when I landed now, you're right. I didn't anticipate that the level of infrastructure that I would have seen. Yeah, man. I mean,
infrastructure in the country itself.
Yeah, man. In fact, I was really impressed upon getting out of the plane. You know, just the movement from plane to immigration. We were met with sanitizers. You know, I suppose that is a part of the local preparation for, you know, controlling the borders for viral and other kinds of infections. So, you know, everybody coming off the plane had to sanitize, and, you know, just moving through was very comforting and assuring that you arrived somewhere that had control over things.
Well, you know that, you know, we never go through the immigration. I don't know if you go through the immigration.
Yeah, man, we went through the regular people's thing.
Oh, I never go through it.
Yeah, man, I know. Yeah.
All right. We never go through the immigration, and them just whisk out of the line and carry to one passageway there, and we end up in our lounge, VIP lounge, and we had some interview, me and Garvey had some interview. But, you know, it strikes me that France is really a serious colonizer, you know. When France colonized countries, the people them take unto themselves this French. They are French.
French pride.
And the French don't want you to say you're not French. As opposed to the British. But don't want you to say you're English. Yeah, that's
well, the thing is that the kind of colonialism that I understand French produce is that you should feel good about
being France,
having been
your motherland is France.
Been given the grace of French culture.
Because you know you go Guadeloupe and it's the same thing. Most people in Guadeloupe see themselves as French.
Yeah.
And black like tar and them is French. You know? Well, and in England it's not like that. In England, white people don't want to say use English. They prefer to say we use British.
But I think it also have to do with something about there's more seemingly cross-racial engagement from that colonizer.
In British, in the British.
In the French. The French mix up more racially.
Yeah.
So it seems as though there's penetration and take over cultures in that way, Frenchified when them done. And we have seen it in various ways, the music production and all of that out of France itself, from that time until this time, embraced black radicalism. So there is a spirit, I think, in spite of the fact that they've made you French, there's still an absorption of the other culture.
But when you look on most of North Africa is French. Let's talk about Algeria, Tunisia, Morocco. Well, apart from the Arab connection, but coming right down to here, Senegal,
the whole of the curve going on.
Yes, and it's ironical that the people them is French, but the religion is Islam.
Well, you never see a slight difference here, though. In the sense that the Catholic faith is seemingly
strong here,
very strong.
But Islam, most of the ones that write book of them is Muslim.
In fact, I'm told one of the biggest Catholic cathedrals is here
in Africa.
This country itself. And I get that sense on the plane. I see people holding onto them rosary landing. Kind of surprised at that.
So when you go Senegal is more Muslim. And Gambia is like 50-50. But it's Muslim control the government.
That is something that struck me though, that the absence of Islam retention in English-speaking countries tells you how intolerant the British were of anything that was religion. So a part of their project was to ensure that it's only Christianity survived in their colonies.
But you don't think it's the same with Islam too? Because if you look at North Africa, when the Arabs come through with the Moors, the Moors stamp out everything else until them reach in Granada, in Spain.
But wasn't Christianity the latest one to come in the terrain, so to speak?
You mean in North Africa? Yes.
So in a sense, what
come after?
So it didn't penetrate, but Islam didn't disappear in that sense, And you don't see any sign of any Muslim retention in British colonies.
No.
In the Caribbean, that is.
And I hear that they have been a Islamic week in Jamaica. You never know?
I didn't hear about that.
But they also know that. They have been an Islamic week in Jamaica. As a matter of fact, I would love to entertain some Muslims on the program when we come back for really hear what they must say about certain things. We don't know.
It's a rich tradition that if we had that to draw from in the Caribbean, you see the dichotomy that Christianity produces, good and evil, and we now have the evil seemingly hovering too high. I think that Islam provides a more holistic sort of philosophy.
Well, it's our culture. Islam have a culture. Christianity have no culture, really.
It's just a moral
it's a moral thing. It have no discipline as such. You don't believe and accept. Roman Catholics say, if you do a pure wickedness and murder people and you die in bed, you ask for forgiveness, you're saved. That's what Roman Catholics say. And you drink the blood of Jesus and you're all right. It become you inside of you. This is the Culture Nation IRFM. We're transmitting live from Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast in West Africa, all the way to St. Anne in Jamaica, IRFM. We give thanks to the moment, and we know we hope that we will get, if it's even two of the guests there where we invite at the early morning,
But Muta, once the cutting edge cut the edge, the things are going to open up now,
Well, that we intend to do.
You know that a word has to go out in order for the sound power to follow.
And David better watch herself, because you see everybody who with the Irish listen, we could have just ship them come over here.
But what may I try to say to you is that the other radio stations are going to be hopping and skipping to try and outdo you.
Yes, them could have want a German go broadcast live. A German live broadcast, believe you me. Unless we're there with phone.
Yeah.
This is the ultimate. This is the ultimate.
You know, say Muta, we haven't started to talk about the festival yet in any focused way.
No, we know.
It's 7 o'clock this morning. We are gonna leave here, sir. So we have some time. But if you think about this that is experiencing now, right? This is something that Europeans have done for years. North Americans have done. The Japanese have done. And in a sense, Africa has gone about it somewhat differently, because they have demonstrated that they want a kind of partnership in the way that they're moving forward on this venture.
Yes.
And the interesting thing for me is that this has come from French language Africa.
Yes.
So we have had to transcend a range of...
Not only that, it is ironical that it's two Rastaman, the writers, I project it.
So it's it.
It's sweet me. I lead up the Bible and think about it. That it's two Rastaman that project this thing. Is that the radio station name Zion and Ivory FM, and I don't know, maybe Kabu can tell me when I reach down that, have there ever been a radio station that is black taking them radio station, carrying it to our next radio station outside of them given
transmission,
and broadcast it like this? I mean, I should not know, I'm overwhelmed.
But Muta, you need to but let's put it this way. This is something that only Cutting Edge could have pioneered, in the sense that it's years now Rastafari has been seeking a voice in media. Now, for over 20 years, a voice has been created through Cutting Edge as a forum. Now, we have been talking about repatriation. We have been linking you forward. I remember the last time you tried to Africa, there was a desire to broadcast, but it didn't happen.
Yes, we was in Gambia.
In
Gambia.
Now, you reach the point where through this festival, infrastructure is there. And in a sense, you having made sure that this has happened, have created the way for it to happen more easily. Because now Delroy understand exactly what to do, and all of your technical people, and we have to big him up, because he's there ahead of man.
No, him having camera upon me.
You mean? And we don't really rate the level of expertise we have, because this man come in ahead to make sure
everything works.
Everything works at the level that we know it can be. So it's that kind of capacity I'm talking about that is a time in coming. It is not overnight we got here. And now that Africa has turned our attention to them, we can respond.
Of course, but we are responding.
But that necessary.
All right, so we want to figure out if the ad need to come here, so no, we don't want to talk and then them continue for it. So no ad. No producer here, so say, there have a producer up there, Cabo, we have a producer in a...
Joy, you have to watch it.
No, you mean Samantha.
Yeah.
Jackie is doing some production thing here. Okay. All right. Make we go to the festival. Because the festival is why we are here. And we want to give credence to this festival. We hope to talk to the head of the festival committee on the stepping razor, which is the Minister of Industry, I think, is the Minister of Industry. But we're going to tell the people them in a bit, what is this Adi Festival and who is on it really?
The International Abidjan Reggae Festival, Abi Reggae, the first edition, 9, 10, 11, 12, April 2015 at Khaled La Culture. In attraction, Alpha Blondie, Morgan Retail, Third World, I3, Kimani Marley, Jalud, Mutabaruka, and many more. Abi Reggae, 4 days for reggae flavor. Yo Rasta, don't miss. Get up, stand up.
Okay, that was the ad many ads that is running for this festival that we are here to participate in. It's a 4-day festival, and it is online at the Rotterdam, as we are told many times that when they see Rotterdam going on, they say, why is it that Africa can have a festival like Rotterdam? So the promoters decide that they would go all out to make sure that a festival of a Rotterdam kind be projected in Africa. And the sweet part about festivals outside of Jamaica, where they have a part of the festival that has nothing to do with music itself, but opinions, philosophy, and historical references, where they have a conference, and the conference is a major part of the festival. As a matter of fact, I see where they mention the conference sometimes more than the show them itself. You know, I don't know if you noticed that, Jahlani. Well, considering that you are one of the stars of the conference, you switch by the conference I keep bridging. Yeah. You know that 10 day?
Seen.
Man, I tell you. Yeah. That 10 day, look how we are.
But the whole village that they've set up, in fact, that is something that I didn't anticipate. You know, you figure you're coming to a festival and you come from an island, so you know what it can look like. Yeah. But, you know, Abidjan as a coastal capital, port city, is really a showpiece. Yeah. And there's a lot of development work happening, French investment, putting overpasses to reduce congestion in the city. So, as you are seeing in many of the cities in Africa, because of Chinese and other kinds of investment, urban development is really leaping forward. Fast. Yeah, fast, man, at rapid pace. And so they've identified a large section close to the river. Close to the ghetto too? Yeah. But I realize that. Yeah, the ghettos, them can jump the wall and still participate. Ghetto, that's what it's about. You know, because way up on the highway, you see the area, you know, but it don't look as, you know. Inhabited. Yes, but when you start to come off of the highway and go through for reach at it, I tell you, man, ghetto at its highest level, but then when you walk up on this place, I say, wow. Yeah. Yeah, it's a beautiful venue, and they put in some good temporary infrastructure. Nice stage and nice tents. It look like a little sky village, like a Zion set. Yeah, man. You know, believe you me, it reminds me of jazz and blues setting. Okay. That is what it reminds me. I've never been to jazz and blues. So you never been to jazz and blues? Never been to jazz and blues. I take your word for it. I've talked about that half year. All right. No, but it reminds me of the jazz and blues ground, but without the stadium, water, the stadium idea. You know, which part of the Jahlani place they have seats and everything there, but it's not have it. It have water beside it, and then it have this big ground with tents and everything. They're very much like the jazz and blues, and we hope to. We want to tell you that it's 4 days happening, and we have artists from. Let me tell you artists from which I know. We have artists from Mauritania, Ghana, Burkina Faso, Libya, Ethiopia, Jamaica. I mean, artists like Warren. Guinea. Yeah, Guinea. Mm-hmm. We have to come to that little board. Guinea, all right. I don't know why I said that, but I'm going to say it after. But, the festival starts Thursday at 8 o'clock, and it goes on till 3:30 most of the nights, to 4 o'clock really, most of the nights it go on to 4 o'clock, which is something like where that up now, jazz and blues store, you know, it go on till about 4 o'clock and then lock off. From a corner of those, you know, police are walk up and down the street, but I know you have police. You say the police about the place? No, I haven't. But we have some serious man at security at the we do have a translator, and we invite a translator, and the translator in the region, because I really want to talk to some of these French people, especially you, them when on the real estate and everything.
You have some youth at the radio station and we do make it all possible, so I don't even know them name, but we need to find out them name. The President Obama visit Bob Marley Museum.
Already?
I visit today. No. Him go already. Him go already. Him go already. Him go already.
Him go on the 8th.
What time it is now? What time it is?
11 o'clock.
It's Jamaica.
5 past 11, yeah.
5 past, only 1 hour gone. All right. We want to tell the people of this. We are in Côte d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, and we are giving you some news what's happening in Jamaica at the moment. President Obama visits Bob Marley Museum. United States President Barack Obama, a short while ago, made a late night visit. This is so funny, you know. Meanwhile, Jamaican people is reality what they put out of the bag, you know. Meanwhile, Jamaican people is waiting for Obama to come Thursday. Obama already visit the Bob Marley Museum in the late night, yeah. That's so funny, man. Anyway, we can read it. United States President Barack Obama, a short while ago, made a late night visit to Bob Marley Museum in Kingston after he landed at the Norman Manley International Airport on Wednesday evening. The Oak Road facility, which has been in operation for nearly 30 years, recently reopened its doors after undergoing a structural upgrade. The museum is reported to attract some 35,000 visitors per year, and President Obama has now been added to that list. Bob Marley became a superstar in the 1970s, which was a fruitful period of roots reggae. The legendary One Love singer lived at what eventually became the museum on May 11, 1986. Marley died of cancer at age 36. So we're giving you news directly from where we is in Africa, that President Obama sneakily went into Bob Marley Museum.
It sounds like him having priorities. Not bad though.
No. You remember him say Bob Marley. You remember him getting speech about Bob Marley, you know, when he was a youth and a coming out of politics. He used to listen to Bob Marley. All right. An 8-year-old U.S. child by the name of Kevin Washington from Miami was found wandering at the Norman Manley International Airport on Wednesday, April the 8th. People, this is news that is taking place in Jamaica, and we're telling the Jamaican people that we have the news that is taking place in Jamaica. A little 8-year-old U.S. child. It's ironical that a United States citizen threw a bag over the embassy, and now at the coming of Obama, a little 8-year-old U.S. child by the name of Kevin Washington from Miami was found wandering at the Norman Manley International Airport. He's of dark complexion, slim built, about 4 feet tall, and was dressed in a gray shirt, brown shorts, and a pair of blue and green Crocs slippers. Authorities are reporting that about 12:55 p.m. Kevin was at the airport with his parents. I wonder if it's Obama, like a son outside. I don't know. Anyway, reporting that about 12:55, Kevin was at the airport with his parents, waiting for their departure to Miami. When he went to use the bathroom, when he returned, his parents were gone. What a terrible parents that, Rasta. What kind of parents that? They look like they deliberately left the loot here, you know. Them wait.
Them forget him.
No, or you can forget your youth. You go on a plane and forget say you. Then when you go on the plane, you know.
How them would leave at 8-year-old?
Wait, when you go on the plane, you know, must know say your youth not there beside you. What kind of thing that? Anyway, the police are asking people with information that can assist Kevin Washington in reuniting him with his family to contact the counter-terrorism.
You're a terrorist.
Wait. No. And people of Jamaica is not Mutabaruka to be there Africa. Me I build up these news, you know. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, when you go and hear this news. Right, okay, no. The police say you must contact the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Division. Me not read no more, no brethren. You know why? A little youth lost in the airport. And now you don't contact the normal police to find what you contact terrorism. So, whether I suspect the youth, I don't understand how that's possible. He Jahlani.
Remember,
that sounds funny. That sounds funny.
No, but remember in a Muta that everything local has changed over the last week.
Yeah.
You know, it's pure JDF, and so it's a different level of alertness. I am assuming maybe that's why them can't make it a regular police matter. I don't know.
It's a huge laugh. So what them say now? The mother and the father deliberately left him here because they have a chip in him stomach. This is the cousin that I refer. What would I let them stop here and heard this way. And the time in Qatar is 11 minutes past 4 o'clock, which is supposed to be 11 minutes past 11 o'clock.
11.
In Jamaica, no.
Not 9/11.
No, not 9/11. Not 9/11. Okay. We're back to the festival. We see some artists that I know here and I've been playing in Jamaica on this program here. But we want to tell you about the artists them, the Jamaican artists them on it. We have Third World will perform. We have Kimani Mali, Mutabaruka, I3, I3 I should say, Morgan Heritage. That is a contingent for Jamaica. And when I say I3 now, we're talking about Marcia Griffiths, Jody Moat, and I think Yeshima will sing with them. Yeah, Yeshima Beth, which is the daughter of Judy Moat and Freddie McGregor. Judy Moat and Freddie McGregor daughter will perform with the I3 on this festival. Meanwhile, we are here doing the Stepping Razor. The festival will we have 1 hour for reach a festival after the Stepping Razor, because the Stepping Razor finished 7 o'clock this time, which is in Jamaica is usually done 5:45.
2 o'clock in Jamaica. Or Stepping Razor?
No, it's going to finish. It's going to start 7 o'clock. It's going to start 7 o'clock this time. So it's going to finish 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock. But we still can catch at least half of the concert tomorrow. Especially Alpha Blonde, my brethren Alpha Blonde, where with our hope saying we'd come here today. We hear that him have a radio station on here too. You know, and we see Yoso Endor radio television station. Yoso Endor have a television station. Yoso Endor is one of the major artists them out of Senegal. You know, he's now advisor to the Prime Minister of Senegal. It's weird. You know, the artists become now big politicians. We don't know if the lecturer from the University of the West Indies will be connected to one of these political parties in Jamaica.
Only Muta's footsteps.
What say the Jahlani?
Only Muta's footsteps. Big brother.
Okay. All right. As we say, you are tuned to the Cutting Edge, coming live from Côte d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, to IRFM, Jamaica.
While driving through Jamaica, there's only one radio station I listen to. Ivory FM.
Sell out them soul. We get radio play beat attach, must a turn in a engrave. Yo, we need a change right now. We need a change right now. Things set away right now. Things set away. We need to bring back the love again. We need to bring back the love again.
Cutting Edge all the way from Ivory Coast straight to IRFM in Jamaica and all over the world. You know, this station is even all over Africa. IRFM is beaming all over the world, so the connection is right and proper. Mutabaruka here and Jahlani at co-host, and we have some ones here that is helping us, some youth here from the Ivory Coast here. We're going to get them name and tell you who them is. That anybody want to if IRFM wants to employ them in Jamaica, then can get some employment. They don't understand what I'm saying. That is good. Okay, so this is one of the big artists them here in Cote d'Ivoire that will be featured Thursday on the Abbey Reggae Festival. Alpha Black Day.
Tant que cette philosophie qui fait une race supérieure et une autre inférieure ne sera finalement et permanemment discréditée et abandonnée. Partout sera la guerre, c'est la guerre. Tant qu'il y aura des premières classes sur une classe citoyenne dans toutes les nations, tant que la couleur d'un humain aura de la signification comparée à ses yeux, et j'en passe. Tant que les droits universels ne seront attribués à tous sans distinction de race, et j'en passe. En attendant ce jour, le rêve d'éterniser la paix, citoyen du monde, ne sera
et on est très content de vous avoir, mesdames et mesdemoiselles et messieurs, vous qui êtes donc en direct de cette super émission et grosse émission. D'ailleurs, reçoit l'une des personnalités du monde du reggae, mesdames et mesdemoiselles et messieurs, Mutabaruka, qui est donc avec nous, avec justement ses amis de Jamaïca, venus spécialement pour Abbey Reggae Festival pour la première édition en Côte d'Ivoire, surtout pour parler de la culture en Abidjan. Alors, dans cette réalisation, nous avons Quattro Delucci, moi-même qui vous parle. J'ai justement avec moi Médard, Indri à la technique. Il y a Mary également à l'animation. On fait également un autre gros coucou à Sista, Clarisse et Monsieur Manet, le boss bien sûr de cette radio. Sans oublier nos remerciements qui vont à l'endroit bien sûr du président d'honneur MD. On n'oublie pas également Monsieur Bright, Monsieur Zende et tous ceux qui travaillent pour la réalisation parfaite de ce festival Abbey Reggae première édition. Là.
Yes, that is French, and I'm going to translate what he just said. He said, Muta, we love you, and if you could carry the radio station to Jamaica, we would allow you to carry it. Anyway, he was just bigging up the workers here who participate in this broadcast from this side, and mentioning the reggae festival that is coming up, because this station is a reggae radio station, rocking the nation, Ivory Coast side.
C'est la victoire de Dieu sur le diable. Sabari, 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 sabari. Masanike alanike, masanike alanike. Sabari, 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 sabari. Aïe, sabari. Enterrer les haches de guerre, enterrer ces haches de guerre.
Yes, cutting edge from Cote d'Ivoire to IRFM to the world. You know, it's ironical that the Ivory Coast is on the west coast and it has a sea, but there was no port here that was a holding area for Africans. for transportation, like Ghana or Senegal. There was no port here that really, I don't know if I didn't know that.
Well, I know that you have in Benin and in Ghana and Senegal, there are doors from which people, but it seems like it was just goods that were.
Yeah, it's good. Just pure goods come from this part, you know.
Yeah. And it's Ivory Coast, you know, and Gold Coast region you're talking.
Well, Ghana was the Gold Coast, and this was the Ivory Coast. I don't know elephant from a come here. I don't know if the Chinese, them gone with them. I must ask the Minister of Industry tomorrow about that part of it. But ironical, I just want to tell you this, you know, and I am really, because of what's happening in Jamaica now, every time I come to Africa, I have to ask people these kind of questions, and it really bother me. It bother me that I ask people this, but yet for the next level now, it show me that there's something intrinsically wrong with what is going on. Now, when I went to Gambia, we see that Gambia police don't carry gun, and them only have like 4 murders in a year. I come here now, the population I am told is 20 million. If you divide 3 into 20, it's not more people there so than Jamaica. And I am asking, the same brethren I just talking in French a while ago. So tell me something, how much murder would I have on here? So him no know. Him ask him next brethren, and him say him brethren, boy, I can't talk with. We call the security, which is one of the Prime Minister, President, bodyguard, who them send for me, to move with me. And we call him and ask him. Him is a bodyguard for the President, you know. And him can't tell me. What that I say?
Him have something under control.
How can people not?
Well, no, but you see, Muta, the conversation about the Muslim religion, is a part of that conversation, you know. I remember on a previous occasion hearing that on a Friday evening, when the Sabbath starts, the energy emitted from countries that are observing those rituals is completely different.
I'm calling Ramadan.
So what I'm saying is that there is a wealth of resources that maintain harmony in ways that we are completely out of sync.
And we're not knowing of it because we're so indelible involved with the American.
You see, even the clothing that you wear, Muta, that's a part of the logic, you know. You see, for Ramadan, they put on the full gear. So you have to become reverent in your spirit.
If you wash your foot,
man. And you can't move in certain ways.
You ever see the man that we are selling on the roadside, both here and in other African states, who's Muslim. When a certain hour come, them have them jug of water, where them wash them foot, wash them and them spread out them mat and it's amazing.
It's those daily and momently reminders that keep people in good mental and control over their own thoughts and actions.
The more cultural expression. And you know, when I see that, I realize that these guys were blow up place and blow up place. They must follow Arab tradition and not Islamic tradition.
Exactly.
You know, like ISIS and Boko Haram and all them people there. There is more what we call Arabic influenced. Because sometimes people mix up Arab culture with Islamic culture. And they feel that Islamic culture or Arab culture, we say woman can't drive. There's something in the Quran we say woman must drive. They don't know, say it's really Saudi Arabia have that for them woman. It's not something where Islam preach.
But just from my interaction with Muslims, what I gather is that is a life-giving philosophy, you know, that really teaches them a range of simple and practical stories to inform them moral judgment and then day-to-day actions. And, you know, what I'm saying is that where those systems are intact, I think you have a different kind of population, violence and attitude. And that's what the people were telling you
That's why I keep saying it, and I quote university and say to the students that culture is the highest discipline. And if we don't see that we have to study, analyze, and see what is it that Africans knew before the slave trade that we are not practicing now that caused us to in this rut. Because a lot of it stems from our adaptation of the colonizers' attitudes, and their culture don't mesh with our DNA. So whenever their culture connect, we start to become so rebellious against ourselves that we lose perspective where we come now so ignorant that we think it is a blissful thing to do. We're the intellectuals. And when I say intellectual, I mean the people who is forming policies in the country should really look into Africa and find out what were the Africans doing before the slave trade and use some of that to really amalgamate with what we know now and see how we can come out with a new interpretation of what is best for us as an African people, instead of just taking the Westminster system or taking Christianity and so slam them and just put it on the people them when the people them is not of that vein.
But I think the bad publicity we have bought in the sense that those who produce knowledge have left the thought of Africa as a place without knowledge. And once that happens, persons are not trying to look to that source.
I could take a break and come forward with IRFM break.
Before pirates came, I and I always tried with the king of creation. There was no need for Babylon wizard and meditation.
This is the Cotton Edge on IRFM. You're listening to Willie Williams on the Zion FM all the way from West Africa. We want to heal up all the people them who are listening at Jamaica right now and all the people across the African continent who is tuned in and who have been waiting for this program and the next program and the next program and the next program, because this is just the first of the beginning. We want to heal up Jahlani and Niah who wake up out of bed.
Don't go to bed yet, Muta.
Don't go to your bed
no,
yet?
Man.
So you and Delroy are up and down all over the place?
I mean, I make sure the program can deliver proper, you know? I want to yell up my brethren them and sistering them in Jamaica. The ones them who yell up my brethren them and sistering them in Jamaica. The ones them who
are listening now.
Yeah, man.
Like Kabaka Pyramid.
What you mean? The Chalice people them and Herbs man them and all of the people them who know themselves, hailing from the continent, Africa.
All right, the sister from sister that is here now. I think she will leave from America Island and come. She live in Africa, you know, Ethiopia. What's your name again?
Ijania.
Ijania is here.
Ijania is here.
You know, say we should have go for Ijania.
She probably up now, you know.
We should have go for her, you know.
Yeah, man, she probably is up because she got to bed early. Yeah, she went to bed very early, so she's probably up.
You know, so we didn't have the hours they mix. You know, so we think what 6 hours.
Instead of 5, yeah.
Yeah, because when me jump up and me look at my computer, me sit and say 8:30. And when me look at my thing, me I say, what wait, we are going here so now. So me I check say, my computer don't wrong, and my phone don't wrong, and me wrong. You want to see me frantically. They buy the
you missed the program.
No, me not think the time is short.
Okay.
Come in there and say, all right, if we did that Jamaica, no would have just left the hotel because they have entertainment buzz and all these things to come. Man, you saw me say 1 hour left, and me go call Babsy and say, Babsy, Delroy. She said, Delroy gone out there already. They should be coming there and say, Delroy. Just me, man. Just me. It's frantic. But it is good.
See.
It is good. All right. As we say, 4 days of festival. I know where I go present.
Yes, well, what I understand is that the organizers don't just want to do reggae music and leave it at that. because I think through the full exchange and involvement, they understand that reggae music really comes out of a spirituality as well. So I have seen where over 4 days they have tried to have off the music discussion now. And I think this is geared at young people, perhaps people who are musicians, people who have taken interest in the range of cultural production out of Jamaica, to give them a deeper understanding as to some of the core experiences and histories that support the production that looks like only a fun thing, reggae on stage. So there is conversations about Pan-Africanism, and its experience, you know, the idea of resistance as a mode of operating, especially for those people in the West, and what that has created as an ideology that drove people like Garvey, and you know that Dr. Julius Garvey is here to, in his own ancestral capacity and present, to bring forward that legacy. Then there is the idea of this obsession with Africa and the notion of exodus, leaving the new homes that we have been placed in the Caribbean and throughout the Americas, and constructing or reconstructing Africa in various different ways. So what I'm saying is that they've tried to give a sense of background to the desire for Africa and also the desire to return to Africa, in addition to looking in depth at various aspects of the music and the contributors. So for example, in there, I have a paper that seeks to look at Bob Marley, but just not, you know, Bob Marley is well known, is probably one of the best known reggae acts out of Jamaica.
One half is the best known.
Yeah. Well, you as well, you know, you're not fully reggae.
All right. But what is the matter?
But you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
It's Africa headed or being the same.
But I soon return to your role still, Mutak. I want to touch on that before I done. But Marley, since his passing, a lot has happened, especially within Rastafari. Marley established a template as to how to really use this music as an ambassadorial tool. You know, not only just carrying the message of reggae, but the message of Rastafari specifically. Africa,
of course.
Reunite, Africa Unite. So I'm suggesting that since his passing, his ascension took place at a point where he was able to bring the generation of the elders up to speed by interpreting their philosophy in music. Since Marley, the need for that interpretation is not so needed because he's already done that. So since him, there is now a template as to how to work this reggae vibe. Now, beyond him, there are different generations that have come and positioned themselves in reggae, and we have seen where revival is coming. So my paper is really trying to say that from Marley's period onward, reggae has really had its formation established in a way that there is now a body that people can refer to, and also to evolve and position themselves around. So for example, Nomads take it somewhere else, Chronic take it somewhere else. There are various different positioning around it.
All right. You recognize that a lot of the music now that coming out of Jamaica is not the type of music where would I say follow the template that you mentioned.
Yeah.
And it is disturbing. It is disturbing to a lot of people who know that this is what, for instance, these people who's doing this show, they recognize the power and the strength of reggae music and Rastafari to the point where now they're spending millions of dollars for really pumping our festival. But Jamaica at this point in time is not showing the world that this is the place where reggae music, Marcus Garvey, Bob Marley, Rastafari come true. How are we going to really come forward to that superpower nature? We don't call it superpower now, because yes, we have the so-called revivalists, reggae revival and everything there, but it need something. A lot of youth now, see them as sing, but in terms of social issues and issues outside of the music. You know, there's no involvement outside of the music. And you know, most of these artists did involve outside of the music, socially, them did involve outside of the music. Oh, you see, the turning point again, because it have to move, you know, because if it don't move something wrong, it's going to terribly wrong. Oh.
Okay, so you know what you raise is something that older people, I think, are caught up in contemplating. What is the future when it's changing so much and it seems to have left its origin so much? Also, the difference is young people are not necessarily concerned about that legacy. They're trying to create themselves as different from what had gone before. And in that difference, that's where you really get their inventive and imagination coming in. I think we're going to have to accept that Jamaica is not going to remain static as far as sound production.
No, watch out.
I want to finish, Muta. But at the same time, is to be able to school our latest artists in the whole series from its start, meant to and before, right up to what they're doing, so that they're when them start to improvise with them new thing, them improvising with a larger catalog, and our administration is yet. Senegal has probably, Ivory Coast here in Africa has probably put more money in reggae than we have put ever in reggae as a nation, and you might be able to better tell me that based on what we're seeing here.
Well, I am told that it's 60 people I live, 60 Jamaicans coming here. I don't have no festival where remove 60 Jamaicans, whether in Europe or otherwise. I know that them take Jamaicans who are tour already in Europe. But for actually take 60 people from Jamaica and move them, come on here, so. It's saying a lot.
It's a lot of investment.
Not only for Africa, but for this country.
So it's that I'm trying to say that we are yet to seriously position any kind of training and development of young people in this industry. In fact, that's why the young people are so self-centered, because they make it on their own. And they don't have time now to go and
check
share them pocket with government who only can tax them. So what I'm saying is that our situation is not to really fight their inventiveness.
No, you can't fight it.
But it's to give them more.
You're going to lose if you fight it.
Exactly.
So don't have a wheelchair and a heart attack every day. But we want to hear President Obama's Secret Services who are now listening to the program. Tuned in.
You might listen to you, man.
No, I'm not speculating nothing. I want to hear President Obama's Secret Service who are now listening to the program. I want them to know that I'm very sorry that I'm not there, and I am here in the Ivory Coast going about my mother and father and children business. This is the Cutting Edge on IRFM and Zion FM. Here we go.
Where you come from, as long as you're a black man, you're an African. No mind your nationality, you have got the identity of an African. Cause if you come from Clarendon, and if you come from Portland, and if you come from Westmoreland, you're an African. So don't care where you come from, as long as you're a black man, you're an African. No mind your nationality, you have got the identity of an African.
Them never know say would have come forward in that this way. We left here in shackles and chains, bound in ship with blood, sweat and tears. Some of us thrown overboard and even commit suicide by jumping overboard. Now the Atlantic Ocean, oh wretched Atlantic Ocean that hold the bones. Oh wretched Atlantic Ocean that hold the flesh of the ancestors. But the water could not bind us. The depth could not bind us. We survived. I am my ancestor, and my ancestor is me. From the shores of Africa to the shores of the Caribbean Sea, we survived. And now we come in a new personality, the personality of Rastafari, that give the world of African people a new hope for redemption, binding ourselves not to any European logic and understanding, but a logic and understanding that has been created by us, for us. We're using it to liberate ourselves. So we give thanks to men like Kwame Nkrumah, Marcus Garvey, Steve Biko, Jomo Kenyatta, the Mama, Idi Amin. We give thanks because we survive. We are the black survivors that came from the bottom of the ocean and now will haunt the oppressor in his ignorance and arrogance. We are the ones who will fight against the philosophy that all one race superior and the other inferior. We will fight if it is necessary because we are confident in the victory of good over evil. We will fight against the philosophy that all one race superior and another inferior, because we are confident in the victory of good over evil. That the Jamaican government has finally decriminalized ganja in Jamaica. We don't know the status of ganja here, but we see that quite a few Rastafari brethren and sisters is here. Now when I come in a man culture and tell him where to do, but we know that persecution is persecution everywhere you go. And if we continue to persecute our people because of a plan, it's bordering on the heights of ridiculous. So, just like how Jamaica followed suit with their colonial masters, we are asking the government of the Ivory Coast to really examine if it makes any sense to continue to discriminate against a plant. time is 8 minutes to 5 here. Can you believe that? It's 12 o'clock in Jamaica. Well, 8 minutes to 12 in Jamaica. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. You know what I mean? Like, this is something to 5 or so. My brethren, since you come here, where you do since you come here?
Well, the first day we kind of were trying to sort out this program. So
so you did
meaning I was taking the journey because I want to see as much of the place as possible, you know. So I did all the checks then with the brethren and drive up and down.
Okay.
Today was a really different day though. There are various different brethren who have been coming in, Rastafari brethren.
Okay, yeah.
Today we were taking about 6 of us to one of the close communities to Abidjan, about 20 minutes away from here. It's about 150 brethren who have formed an association of Rastafari artisans and artists.
Okay. You know, I invite, the brethren them were supposed to come. I don't know if them can make it.
Same.
And that's why I say, no, the time is so strange.
Yeah.
That the brethren them, they came to the hotel and we say, all right, come, invite, we could talk and thing, but I don't see them yet.
I think they're supposed to be at the opening as well, so you might get a chance. You mean they're coming tonight?
Yeah, they were so. Yeah, man. That's why I said I invite so much people, but because the time so strange to do a program, because really and truly this station now they just play music. They wouldn't be doing well there, so no. But a lot of ones, the time kind of
get
funny. The time kind of funny, you know.
Let me tell you about this little trip though, Muta. It's about 20 minutes away, and you know the city look very organized and stuff. But where the village is a little off the main, so it's a dirt road now. We were in a 30-seater coaster bus, and about 15 minutes walk before we got to the village, we had to get out because the bus wasn't able to take the road. Yeah. Brethren them come meet us, and then when they took us back to the camp, you know, we were met by a female choir singing Niah chants in French. That was really moving. Ijanya, myself, Sister Merja from Mali, and someone else, Sister Antoinette from Niger, another Jamaican woman. But yeah, that reception lasted maybe about 45 minutes with them telling us of the struggle, and it's the same struggle, Muta. They've been shifted over time for different bulldoze and them thing, you know.
Yeah, the person that tell me about it. So you go have South Africa, the same thing.
Same thing. That is the challenge, and they're making, you know, temporary accommodation with cheap lumber.
I think this festival with the conference, I think a lot of Ivorians will get that a kind of another perspective, maybe not a different, but another perspective of what they think they knew and they never know. You know, I think we being here now, it will make a lot of difference in the perception of Rastafari and you know, because we were invited here. We have to say almost like it's like the government invite here, because one of the chief organizers is the Minister of Industry, right? One of the chief organizers is the Minister of Industry, and for the Minister of Industry to take onto themselves the structure of festival like this, and then say we really want Rasta involvement in this, to talk about Rasta and the aspects of Rasta. I think it will have a profound effect.
Well, it looks like a very intelligent approach. And when you look at what is written as the objective and the layout of the program, if you come to this 3-4 day festival and really participate in what is laid in front of you with the resources that have been brought together, you shouldn't leave with a shallow understanding of what has contributed to this music and the depth and the journey that this music has made around the world. So, you know, in my mind, it draws from existing templates, but it also establishes itself as something serious for Africa. And, you know, I know that they're linked to scholarly institutions like one in Senegal called Esria, which is really why I'm here. They recommended my participation based on work.
Senegalese.
The Senegalese.
Oh, you was there the other day.
Yeah,
you was there
based on stuff that we had done in the past. So what I'm saying is that it is already networked into thinking how to best do this for its population, you know, and how to negotiate the best understanding from what is out there. When I look, there's a real strong emphasis on philosophy, you know.
But we want to we'll take a break because, you know, say it's 2 minutes to 5 in Cote d'Ivoire and it's 2 minutes to 12 in Jamaica at this moment, and we are tuned to IRFM, Zion FM. Very historic broadcast that is taking place here. We have to keep saying it. I will come back to Jamaica, we will keep saying it to make people get jealous. 30 different radio stations in Jamaica, we want them jealous over it. So we want you to know that we will be here again tomorrow, which is today in Jamaica. Well, 1 minute time it will be tomorrow in Jamaica. We will be here for the stepping razor, the art of war. And now we know that the stepping razor later will have a different approach, a different perspective, because we say it don't start late like now, and people will feel weird for really come at that hours at the night, which I think is about 7 o'clock it starts. It's going to start 7 o'clock, our time. I'm going to say our time, yes or no. It's our time. Our time it's going to start 7 o'clock. And Jamaica time, it's 2 o'clock as usual. 2 to 5:45. The stepping razor, the art of war. And the time now in Jamaica is 12 o'clock, 5 o'clock in Ivory Coast.
You're not saying nothing till you're Ivory. Thought-provoking, always smoking. Lyrics like a bazooka. You are listening to Mutabaruka.
Saying these words to let you know how much I care, and I won't let go. Even though we're oceans away, you're with me day by day. Memories of you keep flashing through my mind. Very thought of you makes my time. Hello, Mama Africa, how are you? I'm feeling fine, and I hope you're fine too. Hello, Mama Africa, how are you? I hope when you hear these words, your grace turn blue.
3 minutes past 5 in Ivory Coast, 3 minutes past 12 in Jamaica. We're listening to the Cutting Edge on IRFM and Zion Radio, Zion FM. Yours truly, Mutabaruka, and Jahlani, Niah, and Jackie, and Delroy has shoot this whole thing, you know. Believe you me, this thing at the pan, audio and video. Delroy Thompson, you know, is the man who is responsible for Juice TV. Think him a joke? Juice TV. All right. You know, them don't tell me, well, I don't get no, I guess a Rastafari, because they couldn't have to talk about nothing else. I don't have no paper doing, you know, like Jahlani, you know. I don't have no paper at all in my position. I talk I just have to go talk. That's why people can't really record what a bride tell me. Can they get the paper? They have to actually listen to me or actually have a tape recorder. But I don't have no paper prepared.
Well, you know, Muta, I think the idea is to really discourage reading papers and presentation of papers. And what I have heard from the organizers is that the format is really encouraging roundtable reasonings.
Okay,
so the key persons who are timetabled are really intended to introduce their basic theme or their, specific conversation with maybe a 5 to 7 minute introduction.
Okay.
And then allow for...
Well, you have enough information, Bridget.
Well, says a while that this thing has been coming together. And,
you have enough information about it.
Well, but you were the one that make sure I reach here, so you were better informed.
No, but I have to make sure that you reach here because you look like a delinquent little son. You look like obviously you're a delinquent little son because you missed the flight to New York.
No, but with good reason, Muta.
No, there's no good reason.
Nigeria.
You missed the flight in New York. So it's not no good reason. You're a delinquent son, man.
But I reached Africa before you.
And look here, Monday. You leaving on Monday?
Yeah.
You're coming with me to the airport.
But remember,
I will make my driver
pick
you
me up
in my car
and
carry you to the airport.
I will have to take the minibus.
This delinquent. No. Who dare you to say that, man? You don't take minibus in Jamaica. Why come here and take it minibus?
But this minibus I've been transported in. Remember, it's you have chauffeur and me in the minibus.
Here. No. We have a chauffeur and security and all this. That is wonderful. Here's a sister that is on the show, and this song is one of the most, it is a very beautiful song for black women. One of the most uplifting songs that a Jamaican or anybody in the world has ever sung that relating to the black woman. She is here with us on the show. Sister Judy Moat, right here in Cote d'Ivoire, will perform.
Black woman, like your troubled long. You trod one of life's roughest roads to get the heaviest load. To be someone to belong, to never in your mind and the don't give up now, just pray for strength now, for you I dedicate my song. La 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 yeah, the set ones in the plantation, flashes to a sting. On auction blocks, chain and coat, and a dedicate my song for you. La 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 la.
Some people might scoff at what we're doing in relationship to Rastafari and the movement in Africa. But we know it's a just move and a just cause. And it's more than what they would think. Because we doing these things, this especially right now, is opening many, many doors for other things like this come in. And also to give a semblance of what we call it, joy.
Well, Muta,
to Rastafari community.
That's what I was saying when, I was really honoring your efforts to ensure that this happens. From Marcus Garvey's times, we have been trying to make links. Now, when we can host a program that looks at our business in our voices, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
So the point I'm making is that this is a part of the fulfillment of our mission, in the sense that Africa is a reality. It's not a figment of our imagination.
Yes, yes.
And we are a part of the solutions in Africa.
Of course.
And this is what is demonstrated by this collaboration.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is that this is the example of the kind of fulfillment that we're talking about.
Yes.
And it's a long time.
Communication. Worldwide communication. Through the
and cooperation.
Through the beauty. Yeah, man. This is a cooperation.
Yeah.
In terms of some African decide, say them going to move, we and start a radio station out of the efforts of we're in Jamaica, and also now invite Rastafari to present Rastafari in a African state, which is French.
But this is what we were calling self-reliance,
Yes.
That the consultants look like us.
Yes.
And the people who are the contractors look like us.
Yes.
And the purpose is our business.
And the presenters is us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. This is one of the sisters that moves on the show too. Lady Marcia Griffith.
I shall sing as long as I live, and as long as I live, I shall sing, and I shall sing as long as I live, and as long as I live, I shall sing. Even though I'm old, but I'm young, a little bit, but I know I am strong, old enough to know what's right, young enough to dance all night, too weak to hold it back, strong enough to give your heart attack. The situation sweet my soul, as long as I live, I shall sing, as long as I live, and as long as I live, I shall sing, I shall sing.
Lady Marcia Griffith, when the Africans came to Jamaica and said they must start a radio station, we take it serious because the man them come, them really serious. And 7 months ago, we see that them start a radio station. Just 7 months. This station is 7 months old. And this is 7 months after we are here in Africa and the radio station hosting a program that actually originates in Jamaica. So big up the owners of Zion FM. As we said, we hope to have the chief man on the program, on the stepping razor, little more from this. We will send Garvey, Marcus, Garvey's son, Julius Garvey. We hope him can wait. And the chief program man this. But him not understand English. You understand English? See, they don't understand English. Me understand French, or you don't understand English. I understand that. We can't sign language. We can't sign language. This is the program manager. Say something to Jamaica. Say something to Jamaica.
Bonjour à tout le monde au niveau de la Jamaïque. Nous sommes en Côte d'Ivoire. Je suis Guy Alain Mané. le directeur de la station. Nous sommes très heureux d'être en contact avec vous. Et vous devez savoir qu'en Jamaïque, maintenant, nous aurons un lien entre votre radio et la nôtre. Et nous allons diffuser votre programme en Côte d'Ivoire maintenant, à partir de Mutabaruka. Je pense que les programmes de Mutabaruka seront sur nos antennes. Je crois qu'il n'y a pas de problème. C'est le lien entre l'Afrique et la Jamaïque. Merci beaucoup.
Well, I tell you. No, you know, I and some people, some Rasta clash with the argument, and I got to tell you why me and them clash. Some hardcore Orthodox church Rasta, I tell you about Amharic. So here I tell them now, I say, look you know, you see me now, if me I learn a language right now, French me want to know. Because most of the African them, I want to communicate with is French them talk, and language to communicate. The second language where Haile Selassie learned was French. Was a man from Guadeloupe teach Haile Selassie French. And I say, what is the purpose of I? For just aesthetics or for just whatsoever? For learn a language that I not going to use outside of the country where it come from. Just because I is a Rasta? No. The majority of people from here so go right round to Egypt, to Ethiopia, talking French. I should know French. I don't care if it's a colonial master language, but it serves me because when I go to Europe and I see some African with them white wife, and I talk to the African, and it's the white wife have to interpret what I say to this African, and the African have to say what he must say, and the white. So I have to go through a white person again to know what this French brethren I say, because him have the white woman language, and I have a white man language, and don't know how to talk the next white man language. I want to learn French. French is my second language, well, my fourth language.
But you should probably learn Ethiopian as well, the Amharic too.
No, but you know, I want to learn a whole heap of language, you know. If I had a choice between French and Amharic,
yeah, man,
I tell you the truth, you know. I don't care what Rasta want to tell me, you know. If I have a choice between Amharic and French, it's French.
But okay, Muta,
yes.
if I might consider what is the strategic reason why Rastafari hold the Amharic, 97 million people live in Ethiopia, right? That is one of the largest single population of Africans, and it brags itself as having one of the, foundation African languages without the kind of influences of the other alphabets and them kind of things, even though people argue that there are other influences. Now, when you look at Amharic and its connection to a spiritual tradition in Christianity as well, there are those who argue that it links them back to the Geese that...
we
don't know mess it. So it's two things. It still is alive politically, and it is alive somewhat liturgically through the Orthodox Church.
Yeah, but I can tell you something.
Yeah.
I can tell you something. You see, all of those things where you just say, I know that, and that's Rasta sentimentality.
But we'll finish what I said though.
To do with sentiment.
It's more than sentiment though.
Yeah, it's sentiment because
let me say why I say it's more
no purpose. When I am here, it serves me no purpose when I'm in Senegal. It serves me no purpose when I'm in Mauritania, when I'm in Morocco, when I'm in Algeria, when I'm in Tunisia. It serves me no purpose. I have to go to Ethiopia, I go to Washington.
So you're not going to Ethiopia then? Washington?
I have been to Ethiopia many times. Ethiopia is not my first choice of living space in Africa. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Ethiopia is not my first choice of living space in Africa. That means I'm not going to live. If I left Jamaica, the only place I'm going to live outside of Jamaica is Africa. But
it might not be Ethiopia.
Ethiopia is not the first choice. You understand? So, in terms of communication, and it might sound weird coming from a man who says he's a Rasta man, in terms of communication, I would say, especially right now, I have been to more French-speaking African countries than Amharic-speaking African countries. I've been to Ethiopia about 3 times. I've been to Nigeria 2 times. I've been to South Africa about 8 times. And I've been to other, like coming here, going to Senegal, Gambia, you know, all these places, I say it served me better. When I go to Europe, most of the African them I meet talk French. It's just that. That's a my thing, you know. That's a my thing. That is not a Rasta thing, you know. That's a my thing. You know, I never learned something out of just mere cultural fun, sentiment, but it must be practical and usable.
But I would want to learn both.
No, I would say I would learn both. I never say I would learn both. You know, I say if I had a choice between languages, I never say I would learn American. You know. But if I had a choice, if a man come to me now and say, Muta, I'm going to pay your school fee for go learn either American or either French. Which one you that choose? That's the French. For me that. Condemn it, but I mean that. This is the cutting edge, and I refer with
Africa.
All right, we have a sister. We have a sister here. She saved the man them last night because what happened now is that we are looking for a wire to connect the computer in it, you know. And they must search on a book on all the little engineer youth. And the little youth remind me and Neil. And Neil dog there. Him sit down beside me after I sleep, you know, I book down the place, just like Neil. But him are the engineer. But if I look for wire, I can't find a wire. I'm just going to open the drawer and just find the right wire. So, why say something to the people them in Jamaica?
Bonsoir à tous, c'est Mary de Zion FM. Nous vous disons encore bonsoir. Nous sommes contents d'être avec vous. Et en tout cas, nous vous invitons à venir voir la Côte d'Ivoire et à vivre avec nous le Rastafari. Merci.
Yes, we are telling you, it's cutie. It's cute, we are telling you. I figure, you see, always have to compare people in Africa to jump somebody that do that. I wonder if it's
Keshiba, yeah. Keshiba, that name I was saying. Sure, I get mine. Keshiba.
Okay, that's it. So, you know what I want to know, you know?
So, you know what I want to know, so, you know what I want to know. I know this, so the one you will Caesar, get your Caesar. But what Caesar doing for me and you? Nothing.
I was drawn into myself, observing all this time. From every angle that I see, my people, you need help. Others have turned to crime, so they die from time to time. I'd like to ask you leaders, what have you got in mind?
The people, them a fool, and them a obedient. You know, say the food prices one boy, but them a fool, and them a obedient. Them no want me, them a straight to make the food price drop. Them a fool.
I can't hear enough bully for fire burn gets Mutabaruka, you know, you would say French versus Ivory, choose French, you know. But we can't set the fire. We can't set the fire. Can we have fire? Fire can't burn fire.
Another thing I saw in vision, right in front of these eyes.
My eyes.
Sisters prostituting, selling away their lives. They get but very little pay. The ones who king the mess.
$100.
Another team who sits on top, rates themselves the best. But I see the fire spreading. It's getting hotter and hot. The haves will wanna be in the shoes of the have-nots. The sign is on your door, and you will be safe for sure.
Yeah, they call from Jamaica, you know, but you know, say impossible still, you know. The way I say, take the call from Jamaica, would I like hear a call from Jamaica, but as we talk about Obama visit, where the people them woke up soon, like 4 minutes past 12 in Jamaica, and I know only for people right now, wake up and say, why Obama come up, we have done abuse of already. Obama visit Obama abuse of already. You understand? So, you know, say, things are not what they seem. All the while, things are not what they seem. And I like a youth, United States youth, get stranded in a Jamaican airport because his family can't on the plane and left him. That is so ridiculous. That is so ridiculous. Conspiracy theory. What you say? Conspiracy theory. Conspiracy theory, Bridget. Give me a conspiracy theory that one.
Well, you know, Muta, you don't know. You
don't know, but wait no man, me know say I don't know, you know. Give me a conspiracy theory.
Well, you have the theories better than I, Muta.
Yeah, no, I don't have no theory, no, Bridget. I don't have no theory, no.
Well, we will know eventually, no.
All right. Some people are go on a plane and them have them picnic. And them go up and them reach at the boarding area and don't know, say, them picking up there with them, and they on the plane and don't know them picking there with them. That sounds like some movie business right there. I don't want to get a conspiracy theory.
We soon know the truth.
You're afraid of my ear. You're afraid of my ear.
No, I have no fear. We soon hear the truth. It's really that, you know.
Well, we soon hear the truth about the plastic bag. We soon hear the truth about the plastic bag too. Them throw where the so-called mad guy throw over the wall. You know.
They must say food, they must say a video. They must say the food price is one boy. They must say food, they must say a video. The people want them on the street and make the food price drop. They must say food, they must say a video. Tell all the politicians them with a ton of reality. Yes, me a fling down reality. All of me no must say man cool reality. Yes, me a fling down reality. The youth them a different young way. When we come,
we set up so much bridge in our way that with a one life we would have crossed any of them at all. But it's no bridge we cross over the years. No bridge.
Listening to Mutabaruka.
we are told that it can't take the Jamaican call, the local call. You know, so we're not going to take no call tonight because of how the transmission thing set up. But we hope say
May I get some feed forward on WhatsApp still, you know?
Man, you have WhatsApp in there?
Yeah, man. Give some shout out.
What am I saying? What am I saying on the WhatsApp?
Well, a brethren send some information about the Obama thing. Same kind of, in my response saying that the first time Obama land in Jamaica is not Porsche yard him reach or Gigi yard.
Bob Marley yard.
Is Rastaman yard member. That's one of the conversations, you know. And then there's further information that Obama remarked that him still have the albums them.
Bob Marley
albums. That
was what them,
well, you know.
I'm supposed to have my Porsche book.
Yeah, man. Ones on campus I listen Omar Ryan, Elton Dexter and others, you know. Adore. Just I yell them up. Yeah, them I yell up the program and say that the vibes sound good. You know?
Alright, so I give thanks.
Muta, you think say Obama being in Jamaica is why this history can take place?
Which history?
This one.
No, sir.
Alright, that's what you're saying. It sounds like
something to do with Ivory FM.
I see what you're saying. Yeah?
It is totally outside of the realm that we are going at Jamaica.
So him reach Bob Marley yard when you start to broadcast from your saying. You realize it's that vibration.
That's right.
Alright.
And not only that now. This radio station start because of where we are going in Jamaica with Rasta music. It not start with nothing else. This radio station is because of Rasta and reggae music. Why we there so now on the festival of Guan? From some people who is not Rasta and not play reggae, but them say the importance and necessary consciousness that reggae and Rasta has pushed over the years.
But you also recognize that across the continent, the production of reggae radios has been one of the ways that Rasta has.
Without the church.
Yeah.
Without the church. Your people, remember what them things there were people that say, how come Rasta don't have no church and Rasta don't have no school? Well, what you know, Rasta have school and church, and it's because I look for building. It's like what a man say, the church is not the building, but knowing that your body is the temple of God. Well, if them go and look for Rasta, if you go have big mosque and this and that, they make a sad mistake because right there so, you know, say something, and because right build no move from Jamaica come over here so in the twinkling of an eye. In the twinkling of an eye, the university, the school, the college, the so-called mosque or church or tabernacle, that's what you call it,
can go up.
It's portable, man.
Yeah, man.
It's portable, very, very portable. Back to the man called culture.
What a liberty, what a disrespect. You're taking with your people and the servants in. No respect for his imperial majesty. To the out of order. You must suffer by that. Yeah. You know the trouble black man king, white boy. The trouble black man king. Of the trouble black man king, white boy. The trouble black man king. Ladies on the shoulder. If you trouble black man king. Ladies on your shoulder. If you trouble black man king. Say you love the trouble. The black king, white boy. The trouble black man king. If you dance black man king, white boy. The trouble black man king. Ladies on your shoulder. If you trouble black man king. Ladies on your shoulder. If you trouble the black man king. You brought I down here, then you slave I. No respect for the sons of Rastafari. You slave I already, and all in your intention. Hey. But if you think you're bad on me, come try it again. What? You love the trouble black man king, white boy, the trouble black man king. The trouble the black man king, white boy, the trouble the black man.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's my culture.
I stand black. And that is something where them can't get out of the way. No care where we go. At that we are stand up for. Black and proud. Say it loud. Go on, hear love Arthur Thompson, which is my Virginia brother. You might listen from in England there, London to be specific. Your brother say Yale, Delray say Yale. They are going to Delray, your brother in England. You're terrible disservice to certain things, credentials. Anyway, we'll continue the journey, you know. Africa we're there. We feel good for no say we are doing this thing from Africa. Africa we're there. We have Jahlani, Niah, with we are so I create the history. Jahlani, you left Monday go down?
Yeah, Monday night.
All right. So, well, I don't. My purpose here, apart from doing this, is to perform. You know, 809 band is also here. 809 band going to go back. Judy Moat and Marcia Betis and Yeshima Bet and me, and we're back me too. And then I will be taking part in the said conference where you talk about this. So. And this, apart from that, no, you know, we've been making the rounds. You know, so we have to go which part, the market. Yeah, we're a market person, you know, market, and more market. As a matter of fact, if you come in my hotel room, you know, it look like a supermarket. It's supermarket in there because when I go make no promoter make me starve. You understand? Because now wait for them to feed me. You understand? So me say, driver, market, you are going on.
First thing.
You know, the first night you come there, you know, everywhere lock up, you know, I say, when I have a 24-hour supermarket on here, them say yes.
Ivory FM really rocking, you know.
Get here right now. We're not holding up.
Marcus Garvey words come to pass. Marcus Garvey words come to pass. Can't get no food to eat. Can't get no money to spend. Can't get no money to spend. Come little one, oh, let me do what I can for you.
Breaking up new grounds in what we call broadcasting, cutting edge, live from the wall to Ivory. And to make it even sweeter now, to make it sweeter. We started out the program talking about the expunging of Marcus Garvey and the visit of President Obama, which happened Wednesday and not Thursday. Bob Marley Museum was his first stop. He went here in the night while all the Jamaicans were sleeping. The President of America was visiting Bob Marley. So it's sweet day. But this thing of Marcus Garvey being a criminal, and not only in America but in Jamaica too. Because I never responded. We have in the studio with us Julius Garvey, the second son of Marcus Messiah Garvey, and we want to give thanks like the wake up out of your bed. Say, oh your father, give thanks. We know that there seems to be something happening between me and you. I don't know it's what. You can't explain it. I don't know if you can explain it.
Well, there's a time in the affairs of men, you know. Things happen.
Yeah.
The whirlwind, as the old man said.
Yeah.
So there's synchronicity.
Yes. And
so it's cycle.
We start to find ourselves connected in Africa, which is a beautiful thing.
Yes.
And I'm feeling like I'm in an illustrious company when every time they call them call Muta. I don't know what is happening here. You know?
Well, you know, one part is legacy directly.
Yes.
The other part is legacy through Rasta.
Yes.
So that is coming together because it's really one thing.
Yeah, and your brother was a main influence on me, you know.
I used to teach you.
Yeah, from Kingston Technical High School. We used to join him organization too.
Okay.
The first poem that was ever published was published in his magazine.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was good. Okay, so we could get down to the reasoning now. The reasoning about Obama saying that it is too expensive to expunge. It's about 2 years ago he said that.
Okay.
And right now we see that the Prime Minister said that she would bring it up to him, Obama. But it has lingered over the years. How you see that? Where you think of it?
Well, it's 90 years.
90 years.
90 years, because he was convicted in 1923. And with the appeals and so on, and then he went to prison in 1925 in the United States. So it's all this time, and the sentence was commuted in 1927 when he was sent back to Jamaica. He was deported straight from prison without any ability to put his organization together, his affairs together, and so on. So it is just one downpression after another, you see, to prevent the rise of a leader of African people. Because African people must rise. We were the first civilization. And, you know, as he said, there is a cycle in the affairs of men. We went down, then we have to come back up again. Because, you know, in his day he said 400 million African people. Now he said 1.2 billion African people. You can't keep us down indefinitely. You see? And if you look, you see the rest of the world is rising up too. You see? All over the Middle East. You know, North Africa, people want to come into their own as human beings, making history for themselves in terms of their culture and how they see the world. And it's the same thing for African people.
Have you ever Has any communication with President Obama? Have you ever written a petition by your father to Obama?
No, not directly in any sense.
All right. Why you think that this thing is such a controversial issue to expunge? Especially like, oh no, we see that there is a black man, quote unquote, in the White House. Why do you think this is becoming such a controversial issue?
Well, you see, Marcus Garvey was, in a sense, first and foremost an anti-colonial champion. And if you understand the United States of America, it was also a colonizer, both outside, in terms of places like Puerto Rico and Haiti and so on, as well as inside, in terms of the 30 million or so African people within the borders of the United States. So Marcus Garvey was fighting against that, and to bring about a transformation so that African people all over the world would be able to come into their own in terms of self-reliance and self-development using an African paradigm. You see, and what is the underlying thing which you're getting at Muta is the African paradigm is directly opposite from the European paradigm. You see, because the African paradigm is about human beings and the divinity of humanity. You see, so it's about personhood. And everything should be done to raise up the person so that they can develop to their maximum potential. And also there's the understanding that the person is not separate from the environment, from nature. You see, we are a natural people. Yes. And that's why I love Rasta, because the liberty is a natural liberty. And that is why also Rasta was marginalized in Jamaica by the middle class and upper class Jamaicans who followed a British or European system. And they couldn't understand why black man want to be natural black man and look to Africa.
And using a different logic from the European logic.
Exactly, reasonings, you know. And the reasonings is based on reality. You see, I think Europeans still don't understand humanity. I was saying to your wife as we were coming over here, I have a book at home in my library that talks about the 7 or 8 different theories of human nature. No, you don't have theories of human nature. There's one human nature. You understand what I mean? So you know your nature, I know my nature. I don't have any problem in terms of human nature. I don't need a theory. You see what I mean? But them still searching because them coming from a certain ignorance. You see, they won't look inside. You see, them looking outside for everything. And them separate out themselves from other people as well as from nature. So what they're doing is very destructive. And if you look and see where European civilization is headed, it's destroying the planet.
All right, given the hype that was centered around President Obama, like I was like, okay, the savior has come, we're going to save black people. But given the record now, after nearly 8 years in the White House, tell me what you think is Obama's best and worst achievement as president?
Well, I think his best achievement really is to give America respectability on the world scene. Because if you look back, you remember Bush.
Yeah, they really create.
I mean, nobody in the world respected him. Yet he lied to the American people, you know, about weapons of mass destruction. He lied to the rest of the world, including the British and so on, to bring them along with him. You know, so that he had no reputation. Okay, Obama restored the respect for America. I wouldn't want to look and say worst. Well, to some extent, for me, the involvement with the invasion of Libya. While there were no boots on the ground, American boots on the ground, he allowed the French and the Italians to go in and destroy Gaddafi, who was a Pan-Africanist, supported the AU, and wanted to see a United States of Africa and use his resources along those lines. So that has been a negative from the perspective of an African person who wants to see progress in Africa. But, you know, Muta, people who look for some savior have to realize that he's in a system, and he can't change the system.
No, the system have to change him.
Well, he's trapped by the system. If you look at JFK, he tried to change the system. Them assassinate him. Robert Kennedy tried to change the system, assassinate him. Martin Luther King tried to change the system, assassinate him. El Hajj Malik, you know, Malcolm, tried to change the system. Exactly right. Jail him and deport him. You see what I mean? And still try to destroy his legacy by associating it with criminality. You see? So this is how the system works.
So what you know about the Jamaica jailing of your father?
Yeah, yeah.
So what do you think about that? I mean, like, I mean, the government is asking for an outside government to wipe its slate clean. Yet still, them have him there now as a criminal. Oh, is it?
Boy, I'm not a biblical scholar, but I think there is something there that you must take the mote out of your own eye or something like that before you go point finger
for the next man.
You see what I mean? So there's a certain hypocrisy, and the hypocrisy is about the fact that many governments don't respect themselves and they don't respect the Afro-Jamaican people. You see, because this was something that was done by the colonial government. We have been independent in Jamaica since 1962, so it's more than 50 years. So what is the excuse? The excuse is mental slavery.
Jahlani.
Yes, I'm still kind of in awe that this is happening, that in Africa.
Yeah. But Africa is anywhere we are, so it's all right.
Truly.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But I wanted to find out from you, how do you feel about being here for this purpose? And I don't know how you feel about your involvement or connection to festivals of reggae. So what does that bring to you as far as this purpose?
Well, I think it's very insightful of Babsy and the minister to involve me in this, because it's a recognition of the dimensions of reggae and the dimensions of Rasta, and understanding that it's a cultural expression of African people, and more specifically originating in Jamaica, so it's Afro-Jamaican people. And if you look at Jamaican history, we have some wonderful heroes, and sheroes, Nani, Paul Bogle, Sam Sharp, and so on. And of course, Marcus Garvey. And one of the Jamaicans who was taking the world by storm, of course, is Brother Bob Marley. And the reggae music is grounded in Garveyism. And it is grounded in an African way of looking at life. So for me to participate, I think, is an awakening and an understanding that we're on the same road and we need to develop the African paradigm. So it's wonderful to see that the Ivory Coast has opened to us in the diaspora, because as you know, Kwame Nkrumah opened to us back in the 60s, 1957, Ghana's independence and so on. Opened up to us, but of course there was the CIA coup in 1966. And Ghana has been somewhat iffy on the Rawlins. They opened up. My brother was invited to Ghana and so on. I've been invited to Ghana with the Joseph Project honoring my dad. Senegal had opened up for a while under President Wade, and I've been there several times with the Renaissance Monument and so on. He was a Pan-Africanist, so he honored my dad. But that has shut down. Macky Sall, I'm not sure where he is. I don't know him personally. But this now is an expression of reaching out to the diaspora. It's an expression of Pan-Africanism and embracing those of us, the millions of us who are in the Americas and in the Caribbean. So I think it's a great happening, and I'm very happy to be part of it.
Yeah, the time is 1 minute past 6 here in Côte d'Ivoire, and it is, what we call it now, 1 o'clock, 1 minute past 1 o'clock in Jamaica. And we know that the people there is hanging by the end of the seat and can't leave. We know that. So we give thanks for the inaugural movement of radio station to radio station. Yes.
Yeah, you know, Dr. Garvey, you kind of, you said two things that leap out at me really. I never really thought of the music as Garveyism, but it's one of the clearest popular applications of Garveyism. You know, the strength that people find by their own capacity. But then you also, just in the perspective on what is now happening here in the Ivory Coast, as really a series of doors along the shore that have periodically opened and closed, then Nkrumah coming around, you know, Senegal, Wad, even recently Nigeria. So, you know, it's almost as though we still are washing these shores to find the door opening up in the consistent way. The connection that you will bring is intended to be in the symposium. And what I've gathered is that the organizers are trying to make it as accessible as possible, so they're disinclined for heavy papers, but more round table. What kind of contribution you're thinking of making yourself in that forum?
Okay.
You open tomorrow, later on this morning?
Later on this morning, yes. They've asked me to do the opening presentation. So I will do that and then participate in the reasonings that will take place from that. And my paper basically is going to put things in perspective in terms of where we are as an African people. Over time, as history and as politics, and our contributions are immense over time, original, non-original civilization, and the destruction that took place, and now the rebuilding, as my dad used to say, redemption. Now we tend to say Renaissance, and what shape that has to take, because it has to be an African shape, and I call it African humanism, which is what I call Garveyism, which is what I call Rasta liberty, is African humanism. So that's the direction in which I'm going, because I think all those things are in the same vein. African people expressing their humanity within a modern setting, utilizing the technology and certain scientific advances. But because of our divinity, divinity, we're able to control science, and we don't do science just for the sake of science and create things just for the sake of things, because that could be dangerous for humanity and liberty on the planet. So that is where I see our contribution to world civilization. The world is waiting for us because everybody else has copied Europe, China, India. Although in Latin America they have moved away, the Bolivarian revolutionary types. have moved away from Europe, so, but some linkage. But we have to move down that path because we're a major force, not just in terms of numbers, but in terms of resources. So once we can hold on to our resources and we have that socio-political structure, that's why they're keeping us apart. That's why you see our continent now is being militarized by the U.S. and the French. And you see all those destructive forces that were liberated coming out of Libya, etc. So we are still in peril, but we have to understand that, and then we have to continue the movement in the right direction.
Yeah, this is the Cutting Edge on IRFM, coming to you live from the Ivory Coast in Africa all the way to Jamaica and IRFM. You know, it's interesting that I want to go back to the presentation, because when we were in Gambia, it was also a reggae, they call it Roots Festival. It was also associated with reggae. Because of the, well, we said smallness of Gambia. This festival is like a larger version of what the Gambians did. Same conference, participating in the culture of the people, the big reggae show. I'm seeing that this festival will open up more African states, because this is not just coming from a man round the corner. This is coming from authority in Gambia, like the Minister of Industry involved. I'm seeing that this
Ivory Coast,
other places to open Africa to reggae and Rasta, so that Rasta and reggae can show the world and show Africa what it meant before people start to feel that it's disappearing to white people and things. Because Bob Marley ever said, you know, this music so rich to white people, and it's Africa I'm not talking about. You know? Oh, you see your movement now in terms of going to all these places. I mean, getting up 4 o'clock in the morning to come to an interview with Mutabaruka.
Well, Muta, man, I wouldn't do this for anybody else but you. Me now get up before cock crow, you know. I mean, I hear cock crow yet.
I don't know anything about it. At the first they are covering on. Do I know the mosquito thing? And never wife open but you know, so from a company, I don't see no mosquito. When in the market, you see the mosquito?
Yeah, I saw a few.
Which part?
When we moved out to the village, there were signs. Yeah. Because
uptown,
well, part of the thing is that in the fields, many of the fields are irrigated with water pools, and we saw water.
I forgot to look with some mosquito.
Stay away from them, Muta. You don't want malaria.
No, we get it already, man.
Yeah.
We go to Cameroon, we get it nearly dead, man.
Yeah.
We survive. Come through this. So, what's happening to Julius Garvey these days? What are you doing?
I'm still working as a physician, although I've slowed down. And I still try to do my little thing in terms of legacy. I go where people call me and ask me to go and speak, etc., etc. And, you know, I look on this as something that I see as a development, because you see, Rasta and reggae represents culture. And culture is the milieu in which people live. Is if people can hold on to the music, and they can hold on to ITAL, and they can hold on to the reasonings. Now, I see Garveyism as the reasonings, because the old man was definitely a prophet. The man was a tremendous genius, and I'm not saying that because he was my father. I'm saying that in an objective sense, because he prophesied everything that is happening. Everything that is happening. And it's not miraculous, it's just the genius, you know what I mean, of his intelligence to look at things and see where they're going. Extrapolate. You know, if you say man a beat up man, you know they're going to be blowback. I mean, you know, it's like common sense, but I'm at a higher level of common sense. So his philosophy and his theology, his economic, political, social ideas were created by him for African people, and is based on, well, I use big word, African ontology and epistemology. I mean, it's the real thing, the real thing. Somehow, he was able to look into himself and see his divinity and be totally autonomous in terms of his mental functioning. He was master of his mind and his world. He said it himself. He said, I have an original African mind. Now, not too many people can say that, you know. Not too many people can say them have any kind of original mind. I mean, you really have to have been inside yourself. So, he was a gift to us as an African person, to us African people. And he blazed the trail, he opened the way, he draw the map and say, this is the territory. So you have to go down these roads and turn the corner here and go over here on the left and thing. Rasta has to embrace that fully, because it has the strength at this point of dedicated people. You know, I mean, obviously you have pseudo Rasta. I mean, we know that. But the genuine Rasta is a man who has looked into himself, you know, and has seen the Buddhist say your original face before you was born. That means you really come to understand yourself, and then you live your life based on that understanding. And that is what Marcus Garvey talked about, the transformation, self-transformation. And if you read his stuff, he talks about it all over the place, self-transformation. And that is what he was trying to get African people to do, to shed the mental chains, get rid of the propaganda and the false ideas, and come into line with their true spiritual self, which is their connection to divinity. And when you do that, boy, nobody can beat black man. Nobody can beat any man who's able to do that, you know what I mean? Because your foundation then is the creator of the universe. And you don't have anything stronger than that. And I think that's where his strength was. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's always good to, I suppose, have the experience that gives you what you come with now. And I'm listening to what you talk about self-transformation as one of the salient products brought by Marcus Garvey in terms of his intention for us. Mm-hmm. And I'm curious as to how do you feel about the capacity of younger persons, you know, whether it's Pan-African, Rastafari, how do you see that intention employed by young people?
We want to tell you that it's 15 minutes, well, 14 minutes past 6 in Ivory Coast, and it's 14 minutes past 1 in Jamaica, and this is the cutting edge.
This is the Cutting Edge on RFM coming to you from West Africa. So there's a question on the board that Jahlani posed to Mr. Garvey here. I don't know what Mr. Garvey if he say it's Garvey ghost in the studio. All right. Remind me of the question, Jahlani, about young people and
the idea preparing to move up.
All right, hold on. The engineer work out something else. So I don't know where I'm going right now. Yes, fix his microphone. We're not hear him inside it, so. Yeah, right there, so it's supposed to be right there, so.
Yeah. You hear me now?
Still, yeah, I'm back. Yeah, so, you know, Dr. Garvey, in responding, talked about the importance of self-transformation and, you know, going inside to achieve the progress that Marcus Garvey envisioned for us. And I was asking him from the experience, you know, in different locations among African and diaspora and diaspora and Africans. You know, what is his sense of this generation's capacity for that same self-transformation?
Yeah, well, the capacity is there because we're born with that capacity. One of the problems is that our culture points us in a different direction outside of ourselves. So we get caught up in that. I mean, I can remember myself by the time I got into high school and so on, you know, I was being trained to be this kind of person, which was a middle-class Jamaican and so on and so forth. So you get outside of yourself. Now, the problem that we have in terms of what you're referring to for the youngsters is that we have not created the institutions. You see, we still have the institutions that were shaped and determined by our colonial oppressors. I mean, the educational system in Jamaica is still the same old educational system. Even the teaching of Marcus Garvey, who is our first national hero, is marginalized. I've tried to go down and help to push this along, but, you know, there is resistance, and it hasn't really happened. It has to work through the teachers' colleges and so on, because the teachers have to know it before they can teach the kids. And there's so many dimensions, but, you know, people repeat a few phrases and act like they understand Garveyism. So this is a step now that the development of Rasta has to take, because I think Rasta is at the forefront at this point. I mean, you have people like you know, who are trained and understand different disciplines in terms of how to function in a modern society, not to isolate yourself in particular communities that are not connected, so to speak, to mainstream. So we need to build our own institutions or transform the ones that are there. And again, this was the genius of Marcus Garvey. As he said, organization, and unity and organization. Now that is lacking in terms of Rasta. And I'm saying Rasta in the larger sense. I'm saying conscious African people. You know, the true Pan-Africanists that are really African, you know. Whether them dreadlocks or them don't dreadlocks, whether them, you know, smoke weed or don't smoke weed or whatever. You know, I'm talking about the principle of an African human being who is centered in himself and his history that goes back to the beginning of humankind. You see, that has to be structured. Both in terms of the history and both in terms of the mystery systems that were in place in Egypt, and that taught the young people how to go into themselves. You know, the oldest story and the greatest story is about Osar, Oset, and Heru, you see. And that is the beginning of the psychology of mind or the knowledge of mind And that's also the beginning of spirituality, which people call religion, and that's what people took out of Egypt. And as the fundamental basis for all religion, Judaism, Christianity, the Muslim religion, and so on.
As you mentioned that, Mr. Garvey, as you mentioned that, your reflection on Ben Buchanan can step into the Egyptian thing now. Your reflection of Ben Buchanan.
Yeah, well, he was one of the early ones that pointed us towards Egypt as an African country, and the Egyptians, the pharaohs, and so on, as African people. As you know, Europe has tried to whiteize them, in coin a phrase. Although I'm not sure I'm coining it, but I think everybody understands what I'm trying to say. So Europeanize them, paint their faces white and so on. When you're talking about Cleopatra, they show her as a white woman, and all the pharaohs, they show them as white people, maybe with a little time, But the Egyptians themselves tell you that they came from south, from the Nile, Kilimanjaro area, all the way down to the Delta. And so, they are the children of Africa. Well, Ethiopia, or Meroe, Kush, the civilization, that Kush Nubia, which created them, you see. Now, Dr. Ben tuned us into that. He was self-taught. And of course, like all original African geniuses, he was ridiculed by the so-called Egyptologists and so on and so forth. But then that work was picked up by other people like Asa Hilliard and others, John Henry Clark, etc., so that we now have a much fuller understanding of our history, and we have been able, Sheikh Anta, we've been able to recapture, we have been able to recapture our original civilization, you see, so that we can build on that foundation, just as Europe built on Greece, and of course Greece borrowed everything from Africa and the Middle East. You see, there was no, Greek genius, this sudden flowering of civilization. There was a continuity and a borrowing and so on, which is the way human beings have always functioned. So Dr. Ben hooked us back into that.
Your contribution. We want the people in the Ivory Coast to know that we're speaking to the son of Marcus Mosiah Garvey. He's here in your country to participate in the Abbey Reggae Festival and Conference.
The International Abidjan Reggae Festival, Abbey Reggae, the first edition, 9, 10, 11, 12, April 2015 at Planet La Culture. In attraction, Alpha Blondie, Morgan Retail, Third World, I3, Kimani Marley, Jahlani, Mutabaruka, and many more. Abbey Reggae, 4 days for reggae fever. Yo Rasta, don't miss.
Get up, stand up.
I was trying to figure out who is which artist's name and many more. It looks like you get enough.
It's the most popular one.
Which artist's name and many more. It looks like that brother get enough to worry about. Because if we come here, this, that, and many more. But I say, why it's popular, man? Okay. All right, Jahlani. Yeah, the others,
yeah, man. I'm enjoying the reflection and all of what this moment can represent. Dr. Garvey, you've been a medical doctor, and some would say that is far from the legacy that you originally came out of. Just say a little about that, and I know now you're seemingly more immersed in the continuity of your father's work. I don't know if it's more so than previously, but just give us a little of how that has been a ministry in a different way.
Good. Well, you really hit the point. I grew up in a household basically that was oriented towards the upliftment of African people, And obviously, both my father and my mother, in that sense, took a more political avenue, so to speak, to make their contribution, because that was necessary and that was their calling, So each person has to follow, their own calling, whether you want to say talent or whatever. I never was a political animal. My brother was a little more that than I was. From my perspective, I've always felt that I was a healer, and that was the avenue in which I wanted to express myself relative to African people to help people to feel better about themselves physically and mentally, and that aspect of it has grown. You might say the mental aspect has grown, and maybe that's why you're saying now about legacy and more involvement, because it all boils down to the mind. As my father always said, it's the mind that controls the body, and you can't blame anybody else because it's your mind and it's your body, so that you have to have that degree of self-control, and it gets us back to the self-transformation thing. And you have to have self-transformation to have self-reliance, you see, and then to have self-development. So it boils down to the mind, and the mind is key. And as you get older, you have a better understanding of your mind, so that in terms of my, you might say, involvement in my father's legacy, to a large extent, I'll try to show his mental approach and the clarity of his mind, and the fact that all of us need to be little Garveyites in that sense, so that we need to be masters of ourselves, so that there is self-control and self-discipline. And you can only do that when you master your mind, and you can only master your mind when you break the chains that have kept you in bondage.
You say that, and I think it's easier said than done.
Yes, it's a difficult thing. Yes,
and more so to young people who are trying to master everything. Much less to isolate something that they are now being told to master that is intangible. I'm wondering if there are any insights about that own mastery of that.
Well, yes. Again, if you read my father, you'll see that he talks about a great deal of discipline and analysis. And if you analyze your thoughts, you can see where your thoughts come from, and you can see in terms of your behavior what is right and what is wrong. So it's a lot of self-reflection. And he was a big one for willpower, because he seemed to have a strong will. Not everybody has that will and strength of character, as you're just mentioning. But he was able to follow that path, I think, into himself. I don't know how much was given to him in terms of where along the road he was born, and then only had to travel a short distance to get to that inner certitude. But anyway, that was it. Now, for most of us, it's a lifetime journey. You see, and again, we don't have the institutions, because in our educational system, as you know, education, it comes from the Latin ex ducere, to lead out of. And education is supposed to lead this inner self out of you, and not supposed to reach into that part of you and bring it out.
It's amazing that touching on a side of Marcus Garvey that is not usually spoken of in any forum. The inner illumination of Marcus Garvey and his attitude towards spirituality. And I have to give thanks, because a lot of people don't sit down and actually examine that aspect of Marcus Garvey. As you say, which I know your brother and I know your mother, they were more political. I used to sit at 12 Mona Road and sit with her and talk to her, and your brother is more very political. Now you come in with a side of that. When I read the philosophy and opinions of Marcus Garvey, I see that this man is deserving to be one of the greatest philosophers in the past 1,000 years. And that is what they say he is. They say Marcus Garvey is one of the greatest philosophers in this 20th century. Where were they? 21st century, 20th century. And that is really something else. And that is not because he was very political. That because he was philosophizing about inner illumination.
Yeah, you're 100% right, Muta. And he was not only a philosopher in that sense, but also a theologian, in terms that he understood the spiritual dimension. And of course, being born into, you might say, a Christian milieu, nominally he could say he was a Christian, but he never favored a particular religion. As you know, the UNIA never adopted a particular religion. While there was an African Orthodox Church, it was actually outside of the UNIA. And this was discussed at one time, and he was very firm about it. And he had to reprimand Bishop McGuire, who wanted, Christianity to be the official religion. But he said, no, everybody has a different approach to their spirituality. And if you pick one religion, then you're excluding other people, you see. But the organization was basically a very spiritual organization. And as you know, he is one of the first people that came up with the Black Christ and so on and so forth, and say, take down the white Jesus, Michelangelo cousin picture off your wall. Put up a black man, because only a black man could be the suffering Jesus. And he talked about Simon Cyrenian and helping Jesus on the cross, and he traced the genealogy of Jesus back through to blackness, in the biblical tradition. And he says, I believe in God, and he discussed the whole business of God the Father, Son, Holy Ghost, and the whole thing before there was any such thing as black theology. He preceded it. He said you find everything in there.
Well, when I was going to school, the first time I looked into the philosophy and opinions of Marcus Garvey, what struck me most as I used to do that search was the image of God part where him say, if the white man see God through a white spectacle, the Jews want to see God through the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But we, though late it might be, as Ethiopians, must see God through Ethiopia. That is the God we shall worship. God of God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. That was my deciding moment when I say Marcus Garvey. By just reading that, even though I used to know about Marcus Garvey and but when I actually pick up the philosophy and opinion and saw that, and then now see myself moving toward the Rastafari philosophy, that was really what set me on the path. It is sunny and bright here in Ivory Coast. I know you're in the studio and it's like a lecture, but I have seen out there and the sun has risen. Believe you me, the sun has risen. Julian Garvey, the sun has risen. The cock. We don't want to use that term right now, even though we're in this part of the world, but in the next part, it might have a different connotation, but it's really 28 minutes to 7 o'clock here. That means 28 minutes to 1 o'clock, to 2 o'clock. The program finishes at 2. We want to give thanks that you come. We give thanks that you come, and as we say, we have invited so much people, and we hope that even 2 or 1 will come. And you have been the guinea pig.
The senior.
We give thanks. And I tell you, we have Marcus Garvey's son in the studio, on the continent, in Africa.
Oh my God.
Is that, trust me, you have it on here, Bridget?
Muta, he may not inaugurate you properly. That's what he has in Africa, as a voice.
And we want to thank you for Jahlani.
Give thanks
for
the invitation.
Because you never come trust me. Meant you when you go back to Jamaica, we want to thank Jackie too, Jackie.
We went Bill FM.
She write piece of paper and put something for such certain things to me, And also she was trying to, she went for him with security over there.
the president's security to capture him and tell Roy, trust me, believe you me, tell Roy. We want to thank the ones them in the studio here, so we can't call them name, remember them name. All the youth them will work with Zion FM. We could start call some name in Jamaica, but most of all we want to thank the man with there, the engineer right now in Jamaica. You know thank him too. Shane, we want to thank Shane Clark for doing it so with me. We want to thank Samantha Money. We want to thank Cabo. Who is that? I don't thank. We thank him in there today. I don't thank. It's a thank. We're not doing nobody I don't thank. We want to thank the promoters of the festival who really recognize the importance of the message of the Rastaman and reggae music. We project it in Africa in front of 20 million people. That's the population, I'm told that 20 million people is the population of Ivory Coast. Even though a lot of them don't understand one hell of I say right now, because they don't talk French. But you know, it's vibration sometimes. I talk about the spirit. Sometimes it's like reggae music. When them just start hearing, they never understand what I say, but just the vibration alone. But they want to run come to Jamaica and hear about Rasta. But it's the same thing now. Maybe a lot of ones in Ivory Coast don't really understand what we have been saying for the past 4 hours. But we know that the vibration alone will grab them and make them really dig deeper and dig more. But in closing, we're going to give Jahlani a reasoning. Make him talk to Garvey more. So,
well, you know, Dr. Garvey, Muta has, when we started the program, we said that Garvey's intention was to reconnect us. And that, in a sense, Rastafari, through various ways, has been on this agenda. In fact, radio has been one of the really dynamic ways, and music. Mm-hmm. Now, we're here for an international festival, and we have managed to connect 2 of the disconnected locations. You are still living in the United States, which is perhaps that nodule point that both Jamaica and Africa is looking for in the whole mix of the thing. You've chosen to locate yourself in the US for a while, I mean, for whatever reasons those are. What kind of proximity does that give you now to the 2 more disadvantaged locations as far as people? And just how you see it all coming together, you know, given your experience now?
Well, the United States is still the richest country in the world, although arguably China may be richer at this point. And as such, there are tremendous resources there. If they can be mobilized, there's tremendous technology there. And it's important, therefore, as a center. And, you know, if you look back at my dad, you'll see that he went from Jamaica to the U.S. and then ended up, he went there just to stay for a short time, but ended up having the headquarters of the organization there because of the fact that it was, in a sense, the center of the black world, Harlem, New York. And in some sense, the U.S. is still a center for African people, African Americans. Again, as I mentioned, with certain resources and with certain advances in terms of technology. And I think what we're doing right now is a demonstration of the advancement of the technology that we're able to be involved with, to broadcast from Abidjan, Ivory Coast, to Jamaica and link up. there's, all kinds of possibilities now in terms of smartphones, in terms of internet, in terms of streaming live and connecting. Many of the superstars have millions of people following their every move and so on and so
Instagram
forth.
and
all of those things. You see, Marcus Garvey never had that. He had his voice and he had the newspaper, and he was able to capture the world, the black world, the African world. So we have that potential. What we need is to package content so that it travels. Reggae music is one such package, right? And it carries a message. And we need to do that with our history, with our philosophy, with our theology, so that the young people can go on their smartphone or whatever it is, download this, download that. And this is how we connect to them, even if we can't institutionalize it at this point in time, in a particular country or territory or whatever. You see, the means of communication are so vast that it's possible for us to reach almost anybody in whatever remote village that exists, because everybody has cell phone and so on and so forth. So that is something that we must master, and certainly the U.S. has that kind of capacity to be able to do that. I still believe that my father said that, the Western African, and I think he was speaking very much of the Caribbean African, would make a significant contribution to the development of Africa.
Well, Haile Selassie said that Africa awaited its creator. Bob Marley reiterated that phrase in a song. Africa awaited its creator. Well, Haile Selassie actually said Africa awaited its creator. And we actually see that this is happening right now. It's very interesting that Marcus Garvey words come to pass.
And, the thing that is central in what we're saying is new institutions or institution building. And I think of this Abidjan International Festival as something that is an institution that reggae has created. In a sense, this one has gone a little deeper in its logic in terms of its formation to try and do it in a way that becomes a national and international success in its progressive intention.
That's a plan to do it every 2 years.
Okay, yeah. So it's just to go back to the point that you were making about conventions not necessarily being static, but the fact is that the institutions are important. Muta, that's really my last question. I remember the None But Ourselves can free your mind. And it's interesting that you remarked that this reflection on the psychology of Garvey is one of the, we don't hear this much. But that is really, I think, what is missing.
Of course. That is the essence of Garvey, really.
Absolutely.
We want to tell the people in Katabor what is happening this week in the country. As of today, the festival kick off today, and we have a lot of artists here. Raspudi, where the people in this part of the world will know who is Raspudi. Fadalde, Kaluja, and Alpha Blande is the Ivory Coast representative on the festival tonight. And then you have Ghanaian Kojo Antwe and Myrna Eji. And then on Friday, they are going to have from this part of the world Spyro, Sana Bab, from Burkina Faso, Coco Bembe from Mali, Kajem from here, Third World from Jamaica, Takana Zion from Guinea, Beta Simone from Cote d'Ivoire. And then the next day, which is Saturday, you have Jim Kamson from here, Naphtali from here, Jalud from Ethiopia, Kimani Mali from Jamaica, Mutabaruka from Jamaica, I-Trees from Jamaica, which includes Marcia Griffiths, Judy Moore, and Yeshima Bet. Memorial, is that the I-Trees will be doing a memorial for Bob Marley in their set. And then you have Ishmael Isaac closing up that night from this country, I report. And then the next night we will have General Tejfari from here, Melikini from here, Masafalasha from here. Paul, this night is a Cote d'Ivoire night, except for Sidodi, which is from Benin. And then you will have a grand finale, when we will have Morgan Heritage, which is from Jamaica. And then we will have Alpha Blondy, Sadabab, Ishmael Isaac, Jojo Actor, etc., taking the stage and doing a grand finale. So this is the first edition of the Abbey Reggae Festival right here in Cote d'Ivoire, Abidjan, and it's from the 9th to the 12th, which is April this, and it is at Palais de la Culture. Yeah, Palais de la Culture. And we hope to see you there. The 20 million Ivorians will be there. We hope to see you there. And we will be there. So we give thanks to the moment, give thanks to the time, give thanks to the energy. We will be back here at 7 p.m. for the Stepping Razor, the art of war. Mr. Garvey, you never tell us what time you going to talk, what time you going to speak.
I haven't seen the program, but it may be 9 o'clock. I'm supposed to kick off the evening.
This man, I know all the things, you don't know what time I talk, brother.
Huh? Yeah, it's the first part in the morning. His session runs, I think, between 9 and 12.
No part of my name, no part today. No whether they have my name today.
Your name is all over the program.
No, you say, no, I today I talk about my, it's all like money to give me.
Yeah, your name all over the program. I don't see it on this version, but I may not have the right
because
version.
I'm coming back here, I'm going to go sleep as I know, and I'm going to come back here at 7 o'clock, and that is 4 hours again, and I'm going to the show after I've done the program. So, as we say, we give thanks to the moment, give thanks to Mr. Garvey to get up on time, babe. You don't know him sleeping in the hotel room.
And climb up the stairs.
Serious? You can't believe that?
Seriously.
The person that walk on the have to wait. We now reach up, we are going anyway, give thanks. I can't regard until later. Zion Radio, IRFM.
Ah
to Mutabaruka.
LFM, #1 radio station in the whole wide world.
Waste time, you know, waste, you know. God is a man, boy. 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 See the man who loves 9 minutes of full base. That you know, King Selassie, sit on the shore, and the king of the rich and the days of the king must come down. In Egypt, and come sit down with their light. Yeah! That is a man, boy. That is a man, boy. See if man will love 9 men for both days. I stand your boy. Yeah! Them say out of many here what out of one. But you know them can't fool no more, you know. You understand? Because the whole of we are one blood and we don't know. That is a man, boy. That is a man, boy. That is a man, boy. That is a man, boy.
International Abidjan Reggae Festival. Abbey Reggae, the first edition. 9, 10, 11, 12 April